So, Nights in the Nightmare. A while ago, when I was still using Something Awful. No, stop leaving the menu. I wanted to Let's Play this game, and on Something Awful they have, I'm sure they still have it, a thread they call the Sandcastle, where you just post the first, like, post of your thread, and you're like, does this look good? Do you have criticisms? Do you think there's anything I can do better? And, like, presumably they would give you constructive criticisms. They're like, oh, you should make your image bigger and make sure you use an algorithm that doesn't destroy the image, whatever. When I tried, you know, making this thing, doing a Let's Play for this, I posted my first video, and everyone was like, I don't understand a single thing that's happening in this video. This looks like a terrible game to Let's Play. Now, to be fair, I wasn't very clear about what was happening in that video, because I didn't want to go through the tutorials, because, well, let's just, okay, so we have lessons, we have tutorial missions, tutorial tips. Let's take a look at tutorial mission. These are all the base tutorial. These are the ones they expect you to do before you play the game. And then you have these. There are a lot more of these. The difference is that these do not ask you to do anything. These just explain stuff to you with text. And then tips, I believe is just like, yeah, it's just like a bunch of stuff you might see in a manual. It's like some text about how, like, more detailed mechanics work. Let's not, okay, I know I'm the one who brought up SA, but let's not actually talk about them, alright? Let's just focus on the game. So I guess we gotta go through tutorial missions, but if they're explaining stuff incredibly slowly, I might just speed up. I want to learn how to make progress. Let's start with the tactic screen. Yes, sir. Oh my god. So this is what the screen looks like when you're about to start a chapter. When you're about to prepare to battle, you're not playing it, you're preparing right now. So I think it'll go faster if I just explain what's going on rather than let the dialogue scroll, because it'll take so long to do that. I don't know where to start. Let's just see how long this takes. You can set your units and items for the battle. So you see, like, the four corners of the field, that's where you equip your weapons. Like, this thing just throws you in the game. It's incredibly difficult to explain this game, because where do you start? Like, this thing throws you on that battle screen, and you're like, I don't know what any of this is. Like, you equip weapons in the corner? I don't know what that means. You know, it's kind of like that. And they never figured out better ways to explain this stuff, I guess. And I'm gonna lose my voice if I try to explain all of this shit. So you have 7 types of weapons. 1 for each class in the game. We have, like, I forget what the classes are called. Like the Duelist, the Warrior, the Rogue or the Thief, one of those two. The Archer, the Sorceress, the Mage, and the Knight, something like that. This thing was a hell of a game developer. I don't know if they're still around anymore. Enemies have weaknesses, and each weapon has, like, an element to it. So, like, if an enemy is weak to fire, you want to use a fire sword. Getting units and items. So now that you equipped your weapons, you want to position your units. And you see on the battlefield there's that little like empty tile. That tile that is empty, that's where you put your units before battle. I have 2 soldiers that are nameless. It's unfortunate. We don't have names. They're generic warriors. I feel like the tutorials, I think they changed the tutorials from what they were in the DS version. This game was on the DS originally, and then they ported it to this system, which is the thing Sting did a lot for some reason. They would like, their previous games were both on GBA, and then they would make a PSP version that had higher resolution art. Now, the most incredibly confusing thing about this game is that each class has a different range, but also direction in which they attack. Sting is fine, and porting Yggdra Union to the Switch, what the heck? Are they gonna port Nights in the Nightmare to the Switch? Because I would buy that in a heartbeat. I sort of assumed Sting was, like, gone? Like, because I don't think I've heard anything from them in, like, forever. What's the last thing they made? Apparently, they made a bunch of stuff since, like Dungeon Travelers and... I'm not seeing... My god, they released a PlayStation Vita game in 2017. Why would you do that? It was mostly Japan stuff. Yeah, you equip your weapons in the corners like we showed earlier. They still haven't brought up how you, like, actually play the game. I feel like, so the DS... I remember the DS tutorial being different, and I feel like they started differently. Like, they started by telling you what you do, how you interact during combat first. They also would actually let you do actions, which in this thing, they don't let you do anything, they just show you. Like, I'm not doing anything, they're just pressing all the buttons for me. So, like, I mean, I might be wrong about this, I might be misremembering, but I think they made the tutorials worse. Somehow. Oh, next you'll get to try it out for yourself. Okay, I might be wrong. We'll actually try the thing. Set a unit and a weapon. Okay. I still think the DS had a different thing. Okay, let me do the thing. Stop talking and let me do the thing. Start! Okay, so on the DS, because it was touchscreen controlled, you would actually, like, touch the screen. Like, it was 2 screens, but basically, like, the bottom screen was essentially the top screen mirrored and with less details. But in this case, you control it with, like, the controller, the D-pad. Which in some cases is gonna be a little more awkward, but anyway, you select the thing, you select the weapon. Boom, the weapon is there now. And then you keep scrolling and you select the warrior, and there you go. So, one important thing here is that you see the direction and the tiles that the warrior is highlighting? These are all the tiles it can attack. The warrior can only face up left or up right. It cannot look down. This is one of the elements that's incredibly confusing about this game. It's like, why? Well, that doesn't make sense. And it's like, don't ask. That's just what they can do. Like, one thing to remember, to understand about this game is that, you know, when you play a tactics game, like Final Fantasy Tactics or Fire Emblem or stuff like that, there's like a certain amount of, like, things you assume about it, right? You think, well, I can move the characters in any direction, because that would make sense. You know, they're people. They can move. They can turn. When you're playing this game, you have to remove all your preconceptions about a tactical game, because this game doesn't give a shit about them. Oh, you think you can turn your characters in direction? No, you can't. Don't even think about that. You think they can move? They can't move. Except for these two who can move, but only in very specific directions. So, it's incredibly strange. Alright, I'm good. Complete! You've done it correctly. If you equipped a weapon that the unit could not equip, they would, kick your ass out back in the tutorial, I guess. The battle screen, the victory. Alright, well, let's continue. I might skip a couple of those because I think I can explain them faster. Teach me the battle screen. Well, this is what it looks when combat starts. You get Foggy. You'll be controlling the Wisp with the analog pad. On the DS, it was the touchscreen. They're doing it for me right now. That's the Wisp. The Wisp is essentially your mouse cursor. So that's like the big thing about this game. The big unique thing is that the Wisp is also a character, and the monsters on the field will not try to attack your units. They will try to attack the Wisp. So you're trying to play this little tactical game. You're like, imagine you're trying to play chess, but at the same time, someone is trying to, like, knife your hand while you're trying to play chess. This is what this game feels like.
Warrior activated. Charging. Breakout.
And the way you attack monsters is that you'll move the Wisp to one of the weapons in the corner, and you'll bring the weapon to the character. And then there's like a little charge up time you have to wait, and then you like release the button and the character attacks. Sounds easy enough. When you give orders, you just showed it. Yeah, I know. No, please. Okay, can I literally just explain that. Huh? You can see on the side there's like a little meter that goes up. This is like how much the attack is charged, and that's linked to how much damage it'll do. And it also, like, each segment like changes the amount of tiles that will be hit. I imagine this is a lot to take in already. It sounds pretty simple. Nope, it's more complex. Every time you think that, you know, you think you've done, you understand every mechanic of this game, they're like, no, there's more mechanics! So, like, if you just put your cursor on a unit and you attack, they attack without a weapon. That deals basically no damage. I think it deals maybe like 1 or 2 damage, which is nothing. But it like gives you crystals, which you have to collect, and then you use those crystals to grab the weapons and put them on your characters, and that's when you actually do damage.
The axe attached.
Warrior activated. Charging.
you do damage without items, but it's so little damage that it's essentially negligible. Right, and when they die, they release like all these little crystals and items, and they also release. I mean, all the little crystals are like crafting materials for later, and they release one item, which is generally a weapon. Sometimes it can be something else, like a key item. What's stopping me from using skill attacks all the time? From using weapons? That's a good question. Let me explain that. You have to have MP. And you start with 0, so like you might be wondering what's the thing that indicates MP. Yeah, I need like a mouse cursor or like a pointer, a hand pointer. This is as good as this is gonna get for now. Whoops. So the amount of mana you have, we're talking about you need mana to do attacks. The amount of MP, the amount is like, was that number right there. So when you attack enemies normally, when you attack enemies without a weapon, I should say, they like eject those little gems. You have to collect them, you get MPs, and then you can do special attacks with weapons. Now, you might be thinking, victory conditions. Well, it's simple, like kill all the monsters on the screen, right? No. No, this game will not let you have a simple mechanic. It has to be complicated all the way. There's a time counter while in battle. That's right, there's that thing. There's the time. Now, here's the thing. Very confusingly, the time does not tick down when you, like, normally. It only ticks down when you take damage or you are charging a knight for an attack. So, like, they could have called it something a little more intuitive, like, for example, I don't know, like, a different mana bar, like a stamina bar or something, but they decided to go with time and make it incredibly confusing. There's a little trick called conversion. Oh boy, we're talking about that, huh? Essentially, if you just want to... If you want to end your turn, there are turns in this game. I know it's confusing. You can just pause the game and convert all the remaining time that you have into either MPs to like do special attacks later in the next turn, or XP just to give more XPs to your guys, which is usually the thing I do. They didn't actually talk about the victory conditions. This thing is it called the victory conditions? They didn't actually talk about the victory conditions. They just talked about how you lose. Defeat the enemy using skills. I don't know what they're thinking. Alright. Is this the one where I actually do a thing? I think I actually do the thing. Okay. Can we please move on? I think, yeah, select might be. Alright. Start. So I'm the little wisp. I'm the cursor. And I don't want to get hit by the little bullets. So I do appreciate that everything that's a projectile has like a very distinct visual to it. Like it's very bold graphics as opposed to like the detailed sprites of the enemy side. At least like even if there's a lot happening on screen, when you're trying to dodge enemy bullets, like, you're not that confused about what you're looking for, what you're trying to dodge. There's like a couple places in the game where it gets tricky, because, like, some bosses have more intricate bullet patterns that can be a little visually confusing, but for the most part, it's like, this is alright.
Let chaos.
Okay, there's like a button to, like, change your speed.
Let chaos live.
Ah, there we go. So, I'm gonna have you pay attention to, this thing. The speed. The little speed bar. That's the thing they added to the PSP version, because there was no use for that on the DS. On the DS, you just move the Wisp with the touchscreen, so with your hand. But on the PSP, like, you use a stick. So, like, they had to, like, set a speed to the Wisp, and you can essentially change that speed. So if it's like that, woo! Uncontrollable, impossible to play. I got hit by a bullet there. You can reduce it, and you go really slowly. So it's nice. Like, it's a decent way to make things playable. I'm usually gonna keep it on the low, because I don't think you really need to move super fast all that much. There's like a couple bosses where you might have to, but otherwise it's pretty simple. Anyway, I need to defeat this enemy. How do I defeat this enemy? I have no MP. So I need to attack the enemy with my character. I'm gonna go on the character, select it with X, and then charge it and make it attack.
Attack.
Attack the enemy, and there's all the little crystals that fly out. You grab that, you see it fills up my my MP bar, but not all the way, so I have to attack again. Oops. I know, I gotta wait for at least one thing to charge. There we go. Fill the crystals, and I have one. So now I can grab my weapon that's over there, and bring it to the warrior, and charge it all the way, and blammo! The 200% is the amount of damage you're doing, and that's determined by, like, elemental weaknesses. Not bad. I did that flawlessly. Well, I got hit once, but I was demonstrating gameplay mechanics. Alright, the encounter reel. So, when you end the turn, which is when you run out of time, or you choose to end the turn, you get this screen. It's like a little roulette wheel. The encounter reel. They determine the foes for the coming turn. And now, the roulette wheels usually go pretty slowly, so you can kind of just stop it wherever you want. And now, you stop using the corresponding button. Yeah, that's right. Or on the DS, I think it was just like you tap the screen. And you get these monsters. Now, here's the confusing thing. There's a tic-tac-toe grid at the bottom. And you can see, like, the one that are highlighted correspond to monsters you just picked on the slot machine. Now, here's how you win a battle. You have to fill in one line of tic-tac-toe. Why? I don't know. That's just how the game works. Yeah, get 3 kill marks going up, down, diagonally. Basically, you have to have, like, one tic-tac-toe line. Later in the game, there's going to be, like, bigger grids. So, like, 4x4, and I don't know if it gets to more than 4x4, but like, you have higher, bigger tic-tac-toe grids, basically. And now you might be thinking, well, the encounter rate is pretty slow, so it'd be pretty easy to, like, fill out a wheel in, like, 2 turns. But as we'll see, you don't want to do that, actually. for reasons that we'll mention later. I mean, you could do that. If you were doing a speedrun, you would probably do that. Over if you're speedrunning this game, I'm like, why? I don't know what a speedrun of this game would look like. It's so strange. Are we done with this one? Okay, we're done. What is act phase change? I don't remember what that means. I remember the mechanics, I just don't want to I just don't remember all the names for it. We'll handle this next one. Oh, a different character. I don't know why they have this little... I don't know. Like, these are using character portraits from the game, but they're not, like, in character. Act phase? What's the act phase? Oh, action phase. Okay. Press the R button on the battle screen. This thing, yes. Oh, that's an arrow. I should take that one. To, like, rip that one out. Act phase switches between law and chaos. And the background, like the foggy fog on the screen changes from red to blue.
The warrior activated.
Ready?
Maximus,
Attack.
I'll hack you in two.
Miss.
let chaos reign.
The warrior activated.
Ready?
Maximus,
Attack.
I'll hack you
So
in
depending
two.
on what action phase you're on, your characters will have different attack ranges. They all have very specific attack ranges, depending on the phase. There are a lot of mechanics related to action phase. Childlike Knight, thank you, game, for telling me this. So, oh, they're gonna... Okay. Another mechanic that's
activate.
complicated for no reason.
Maximum.
So when you do a special attack with your weapon, during an action phase,
Maximum.
you can see, I'm gonna point out, this icon, you see this icon is half empty, and I did it again, now it's a quarter empty, and it gets emptier every time. That's important. The thinner the fog is, the fewer gems foes release. So the gems are the thing that give you MP, and you need MP to attack. So what this does is that this forces you to like switch between the two phases. To get like if you're attacking in blue phase a bunch, you're gonna have to get back gems. You're gonna have to switch to red phase and attack a bunch. Yeah, let's practice. What if Ikaruga was an RPG? God, Ikaruga is so much simpler than that, though. This is like, what if, what if a tactical game, but every rule is convoluted? And also a bullet hell on top. Press the hell button to hide. I don't think they taught us that. They're just throwing that out here. Okay, so you can hide with L. Like if I hold L, it does this, and that means I'm hiding. I still get hit from bullets. They just hurt less. Like they hurt half as much. Thank you for the host, Hannah Anning. So that's hiding. What else are we supposed to do? I forgot. So we have the action phase. Right now we're in law, but in law, you can see this knight only attacks in this range, so we can't reach that guy. That's useless. We're gonna just say switch
No
to.
way! I missed!
I'm gonna press the R button, and we are now in chaos phase, the red one. Now, one thing I want to point out: on the DS, you to change phase, you actually had to move the cursor over the action phase icon and like switch it, like do a little swap thing, and that would switch it. This version, because you're playing with the stick, they just give you the button to switch it, and that's one way they like mitigate the fact that you have less precision with the stick to move your wisp, so you don't have to move over there. Because like there were a decent number of enemies and bosses who like would take that into account. Like they'd have attacks that would like prevent you from reaching that region or make it like difficult, and it was like. It was still fair because, you know, if your hand was quick, oh, you want... Pan-Anning is giving you 100 bits. I will do that after I'm done explaining this. So, you know, it was fair because if your hand was quick, you could change phase quickly. So in this, they just give you the phase change with a button, and you can do it whenever. It makes things a lot easier. So, we want to attack this enemy, but we don't have any MP, so I'm gonna charge that knight in Chaos Phase, hack him here, boom, and get all those crystals. I have to do it again, because that's not enough crystals. Alright, maybe one more time, just to be sure. Oh, by the way, these voice clips, that they shout all the time, you can't disable that, and they do it all the time. I'm really sorry about that. It's never gonna change. So now, I want to attack this enemy. Now you might notice, I have two weapons, but this one is like, grayed out. If I switch phase, this one now is selectable and this one is grayed out. Weapons have like that little sticker on them that has an L or a C on it. That determines what phase you can use them. So like some weapons can only be used in Law Phase, Blue Phase, and some weapons can only be used in Chaos Phase, the Red Phase. And confusingly, the colors don't correspond because the color of the weapon is its elemental damage. Do you get all that? So like this weapon is blue because it deals ice damage. This weapon is purple because it deals, I think it's thunder damage. If you are colorblind, screw you! I think you can check the elements of weapons in the menu, but like on a dime, like on the battlefield, it's not gonna tell you. So if you're colorblind, I don't know, figure it out. Alright, let's attack this guy. Okay. Want a treat? You want a treat? Hello, my baby. Hello. There's one treat. Okay. High five! Good boy! Oh, a good boy. God, he's waiting for more treats. I'm sorry, it was just one. We're done now. It was just the one treat. What, only one? Aww. You always give me 3. I'm sorry, that's how we do on the stream. Alright. No problem in battle. That sums up battle basics. Next, we're gonna see more battle basics. What are objects? Oh my god. We're not done, guys. There's still a lot more. We haven't started the game, this is all tutorials. Alright. Very useful aspect. It's about items. We need to talk about objects. So like, for example, it can be an obstacle, a foothold, or a weapon. The weapons will attack you. The footholds, I think you can step on them, assuming you have a character that can move, obviously, which not all characters can do. And then some of them are just there. They don't really do anything, but you can break them. I love that they had a little animation for smashing the item. Destroy it! So they have to be destroyed with a weapon skill. You cannot destroy them by just attacking them normally. Because that won't do enough damage. Now, okay, something important here. I left that arrow on the screen for a while. So, when you start, the items will be in a normal state. Whoops, I skipped that too quickly. If its damage reaches 100%, it becomes fragile. And then you can destroy it with a warrior skill, specifically a warrior. You don't want to crush a chest, because that would destroy the item inside. But I've never had that problem, because I think chests have, like, so much HP that it would take, like, too much damage. Anyway. So when you destroy, when you like, damage an item like that, you get an item that's inside. When you destroy an object, you'd get an item. Words are hard, guys. What are key items? When I destroy that, I got a weird trinket instead of a weapon! I don't care for trinkets, those are called key items. They have a deep connections to us knight. We all have something to cherish. For example, I cherish this little guy. Oh, I'm kidding, you're not an object. You're a living being. I would cherish this thing as an object. Which is Raiho. But you're a nice kitty. Oh, yes, you're a nice kitty. You're such a sweet little kitty. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Anyway. Typical. What do you do with key items? You give the key item to the knight, and the knight joins. It has to be a key item that is related to the knight. It's usually like something they just said something to cherish. An army is only strong if it has people. If it doesn't have people, well, what are you doing? Let's put it to practice. Yes. Let's skip to the next thing. Complete all objectives. Okay. So, let's put your skills to the test. A test? Make him an ally and destroy one. Okay. Give that knight his key item first, and then destroy an object. Okay. And then defeat the enemy. And don't let the timer reach 0. Okay. So, we have this guy here. Now, one thing, you can use knights who are not in your army yet. They're on the map. They're not in your army officially, but you can use them. The point of recruiting them is that they follow you in the next chapter. So, we have this item here that is this knight's key item. I'm gonna take it, bring it to the guy. It's related to me! And normally they have like a little dialogue thing, but it's the tutorial, so we're not doing that. Now, there's these 2 barrel objects. I want to open them. So I'm gonna take this weapon, I'm gonna charge it, and destroy it. Calamity Strike!
You must be
I
joking.
hover. Can you see? Or there was like. a way to see like how much damage. So normally when they're in the state, you get an item floating over it, because like every object contains an item. It's either a weapon or a key item. But I guess it's the tutorial, so they don't show them.
Warrior activated.
And then we want to destroy them. So opening them and destroying them are two different things.
Break out.
Fall into the abyss.
And when we destroy them, they give us little crafting materials. Important for later. Now we want to attack this guy. I can't reach him in Law Phase. I'm going to switch to Chaos. Have that weapon.
Warrior activated.
And
Charging.
smack him with my axe.
Break out.
Freeze to death.
Kill out.
It was a mistake to challenge me.
It was a mistake to challenge me. Yay! Alright, let's get back. You've completed the setup screen. I feel like probably I can explain that quicker, because it's just like menu stuff. And I think after that, everything else, let me see the tutorials. If there's the tactics screen, checking enemies, ally. This is all just stuff explaining how to select things in menus, I think. Controlling the wisps, I know how to do that. Activation, attacking, skill attacks, restoring MP. Why? A lot of stuff is just... I wonder if this is like the list of DS tutorials and they just have like one, like the tutorial missions that there's the one they added to be more condensed. I'm just gonna take a look at this. Controlling the wisp. Oh yeah, that looks like... I think this might be... No, this is just, yeah, this is just basically they're telling you again, but more condensed. Oh god, this game has elevation, guys. I forgot about this. There's fucking altitude in this game. Well, this game is already incredibly complex, why would you add that? I forget when it even matters. Units on higher ground will charge faster. Good to know. Heartland's Knight and the Heroine gets a slight bonus. Other classes get in a considerable... Also, like... So altitude makes you faster. Why? Like, why is that a thing? See what I mean about... rules you have to remove all preconception you have, because the rules don't make, like, intuitive sense. The rules are just arbitrary. It's like, well, this aspect does this because we decided. Yeah, all this stuff is stuff that I can probably explain quicker just going through the game. Alright, so I hope you all got that. So not going through that tutorial again. We've spent an hour on this. God. I did get sidetracked for a sec, trying to look for a cursor, but whatever. Alright. Let's actually start the game. On normal. There's a hard difficulty, but I would have to play the whole game to unlock it. No, do not turn... No. I already went through all the tutorials. If I turn that on, they would make me play every single tutorial, but they would, like, sparse them out throughout the game. Which would be incredibly annoying. Yeah, it was, published by Atlus, but made by Sting. All Sting games are published by Atlus in the US at some point. I hope you had time to read that screen, because it's pretty fast. I'm hungry. I want a snack.
Before the nightmare engulfs me. Before the wisp of hope is lost. I have to survive.
Well, there was a time Atlus... Like, I think on the NES, there were a lot of, like, developers that didn't know what their specialty was, so they were just making whatever they could. Like, one of Squaresoft's first game was like this weird game where you run forward. It was this weird, like, fake 3D perspective. It was weird. It was basically an endless runner. 90 bits? That's not enough to get Onion a treat. I might still give Onion a treat. Okay, so this strange person. A great many generations have passed since the royal family of the Castle of Anaheim brought order to the land. But even within the light, the time comes when the shadows draw close. A time when the old pledges are forgotten. When people lose sight of their past. Oh my god, it goes too fast. I can't read this. So, in the previous cutscene, we saw a woman running away from somewhere, and a lot of people trying to catch her. So that little ball, that little wisp, that's us. We're dead. The game starts, we're dead, basically. Your touch will restore memories to wandering souls. They will temporarily regain their bodies to serve you. Another thing is that every single unit in our army is also dead. And we're basically just like giving them... Onion, you're in front of the webcam. We are giving them their form back temporarily. Because we're just that kind of ghost, I guess. Come on, buddy. I'll give you a treat. Want a treat? Onion? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, paw. Now you're licking my fingers. Sit down. Sit down. Give me your paw. Good boy. Give me this one. Good boy. Abandoned church. No, please don't leave my biscuits alone. They're not for you. It's like bread and stuff. You can't eat that. It's not good for you. Begin battle. All right. Are y'all ready for gameplay? So, here's the tactics screen for our first battle. I'm going to point out a couple things here. So we have one soldier, it's a warrior. We have two monsters. There's like this slime and this ghost. We have these 3 candelabras and this chest. Those are all objects that we can destroy, and we will get something out of them. Now, how do we destroy them? I select my knight. The chaos attacks can reach all of them. Not the law attack. That's a little inconvenient. So, first off, we want to place some weapons in the corner. You can display all your weapons in several ways. I like the icons, personally, because I just find it easier to read. But there's also, like, this list. It's, like, gives you a little more detail, and this list that's, like, a lot more detail, but a lot harder to read. You have a lot of weapons that are identical, and I don't know why they do this in the start of the game. They should just... Because you can just, like, combine them, and all that means is that you have less icons on the screen cluttering everything. But you can only start doing that after the first chapter, not before it. Anyway. What we're looking for is weapons that the warrior can use. The warrior can use weapons that have, like, this little icon. That means warrior weapon. So, like, this one and this one, those are warrior weapons. No, okay. You know what? I'm gonna put the biscuits away! You little gremlin! What a gremlin you are! Oh my god. Okay. I don't know how this stream is watchable when I get sidetracked like this. Biscuit gremlin. There's nothing else in here! I just took it away! You gremlin! You little monster! I took it away, there's nothing! There's no more biscuits! No biscuits for you, they're bad! It's grain! Grains are bad for you! Okay, I forget. You just look at the menu. I forget what they all mean. Unit class. That doesn't tell me what that means. Okay, there we go. So that icon means duelist. Icons mean warrior, hermit. Oh, that's what they're called. Hermits. Not like rogue or thief or anything that makes sense. Hermit. They're rogues! Archer, Priestess, Wizard, and Lens Knight. This area of the couch smells like biscuit. I mean, it was in a box in plastic. How could it smell like biscuits? There's no way it could absorb that smell that quickly. All these have different colors, which correspond to the element of these weapons. I will say, at least they have, like, different names. So, like, I guess you could associate the name. Not all these names are intuitive, though. I think white just means no element, but I'm not sure. Let's check. Neutral, yeah. White means neutral. Then fire, ice, lightning, sanctity. Okay, so green is holy, basically. I don't know why they translated by sanctity. You could just say holy. Darkness. And, yeah, okay. What it is. Anyway. Yeah, you can use this screen to sort stuff. So if you just want your warrior weapons, well, here they are. Okay. So we're gonna equip one Frozen Axe, which is a chaos weapon, and one Slasher, which is a law weapon. So we have weapons for both phases. Although, actually, let me think about this. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So now we're ready to start the battle. Victory condition is always basically complete the tic-tac-toe grid, which is over here. You're not going to do that on the first battle. You could do that within 2 battles, but we do not want to do that for a very important reason that I will explain when we get to it. Are you ready? Let's start. Alright. So, we could defeat these enemies really quickly, but I want to get the items that are in those objects. And that's the main challenge of the game. Usually killing the enemies is really easy, actually. You could do it really fast. The challenging part is actually getting the objects. So I'm gonna need some crystals here. Because I already have 3 MP, but I'm gonna need more than that. Oh, you see what happened here? There was a little number that appeared above the enemy, and that's, you can stun them when they prepare certain kind of attacks. So when you see that little, number icon thing, you spin around them a certain number of times, and they'll get stunned.
The warrior attack.
It's not really necessary because this guy, very slow attacks, but on some enemies, it's really good.
The warrior activate. Ready? Open fire. Special attack. I'll hack you in 2.
I'm just gonna collect crystals for a little while. Onion, you're in front of the TV. Onion, please. Oh, this guy, has a double now. That's what those slimes can do. They can have, a second one. They can just multiply. Well, that's neat. I could show other things. Oh yeah, let me show this. So, you have to dodge the bullets of the enemies, but if you go really close to them without touching them, you get an XP bonus. You see the amount of XP we have is right there. I got 59 XPs just from doing that. It is very little XP. I feel like you could never do this in the whole game, and it wouldn't really, change anything. But if you want, you can grind XPs doing this forever. We're not gonna do this, because that's incredibly boring. Alright, so I want to destroy those objects. I'm gonna charge my axe. I'm gonna wait for the enemy to leave, because I don't want to kill the enemy yet. I want to get those items. If I kill all the enemies, the map will end, and I don't want it to end before I destroy all the items. So this one got damaged, and I got an item out of it. And I'm going to attack again, and now it's going to destroy it. Boom! And now this chest is open, taking the item. Onion, I'm having trouble seeing things. When you hover the objects, they are attacking me, so I can't do it. You can see the amount of damage that the object took. And there's there's several kinds of objects, but for the ones that are type obstacles, to get the item out of it, it has to be at 100% damage. For the type that's a chest, a container, it has to be above 50 but below 100%, so that it opens, you get the item, and then you can continue attacking it
The warrior. Activate max charging.
until you destroy it.
Maximum breakout. Suffer an icy
Now,
death.
there's two reasons why you want to destroy the
I
items,
missed.
the objects.
Attack the warrior. Activate max
The
charging.
first reason
Maximum
is that when you do so,
Suffer an icy death.
you get crafting materials. Like these little things that popped out, those are crafting materials.
Open fire. The axe.
We want those.
The warrior. Act max charging. Max breakout.
We're gonna destroy both of these candelabras,
Chill out. Item
get all these items.
The axe.
Yeah, I'd like to kill that ghost too.
Charging. Breakout. Suffer an icy death.
There you go. So everything's destroyed. We're good. Do I want to kill this, or do I want to keep it for later? I'm actually going to not kill this. I'm going to end the turn and convert my time for XP. Now, why am I doing that? There's a very specific reason for that. Right, so at the end of the turn, you get like a little results screen. Where you can see all the damage that you dealt, you know, the time, the experience you got, the items you obtain. You get like a rank, like this thing. I literally never give a shit about what that says, because it has nothing to do with how well you're doing in the game. Like, the rank will go down if you get hit, obviously, but also if you, like, take too much time. I don't know, it's weird, and I don't care about it. We can also see, like, all the items we collected. So we collected like 1, 2, 3, 4 key items and 1 weapon. Alright, so now I need to affect the slot machine. So how about we get this one, and then that's fine, yeah. So I'm trying to avoid making a line in the tic-tac-toe right now, because I want the battle to keep going. Now, it's the second turn. This knight is not in our army yet. You see, it makes, it says a key item may make them join. So we found a bunch of key items. Let's take a look at them. I don't know if you can... Yeah, you can look. Oh, they don't have unique icons in this thing. Well, they have. So when you select it, it says this one, for example, says Jorgen may have a connection to this. Well, the guy on the screen is called Johan, so that's not him. Oop. Don't do that. Okay. So wedding ring. That's for Moras. No. Jug, that's for Bond. Oh, it says on here, it says owner here on the little thing. I don't think the DS did that. I don't remember. But on this screen, it'll highlight the key word yellow. So knitted scarf, Johan may have a connection to this. That's the item we want. I'm going to put it here in the corner, and I'm going to start the fight, and I'm going to give the item to Johan.
Get ready. Engage. The item attached.
Oh, before I do this, something you can do when you're just on the field is at any point you can press start to pause the action, and then you can skip your turn if you want. But if you hover above a character or a monster, and you press start, you get to talk to them. Or, it's not exactly talking to them, it's like hearing what they're thinking about. So, a monster appeared, but by the time I realized it, I got killed. Probably what they're thinking. So, there's actually a menu, on the title screen, there's a menu where every single one of these you have seen will be added. You can collect them. I don't recommend it because a lot of them are random. And like, you can't just keep spamming start. You have to do it every single turn, because the dialogue might be different every single turn. And the monsters have ones, even if they're like, blue. Those are unique. You can collect them. Maybe next turn the slime will say a different blurb, like with less use, or it'll say Brah. It's incredibly silly, but you can collect them. Some of them have, like, there's a lot of story stuff that's told only through these. So it's interesting to look at them every once in a while, but I'm probably not gonna, like, do it or remember to do it, because it's, like, it's tedious. Usually I just try to do it once for every character, because they generally have, like, one interesting thing to say at first. Kill you! The ghost really wants to kill me. Okay. So, I'm gonna take this item, bring it, and when you bring the item, they'll say something. Here. My mother handed this scarf. It's very warm. And, it says on it, like, above a mother, it says Nadia, so it tells us what this, character's relationship to another character is. That's important, kind of. You could actually make a chart with all the character relationship, and it would help you for a certain gameplay mechanic later. Or you could just wing it, which is what I usually do. Okay, so, now that he has his, knitted scarf, the item that he cherishes, he will join us! And we'll lose the item. Well, the item is his now. Now, I could kill those monsters, but I'm not going to. I'm going to, convert time to MP, because I'm gonna need those MP.
Time's up.
So why am I not killing monsters? You could kill monsters and you could end this turn very quickly. See, it says C rank because I did basically nothing, but like that doesn't matter. So I'm gonna sit the roulette. Yeah, let's just yeah, sure, like this. It's fine. So see what just happened? We are on turn 3. And the candelabras have all respawned. So this is why I don't want to end the battle early, because objects respawn, and when they respawn, they still contain objects. In this case, this one contains a key item. You can miss key items by finishing battles too quickly because you didn't let the items respawn. And when you think about it, like, each objects take a certain amount of turn to respawn. So, like, these candelabras take 2 turns. Yes, I am going to have fun with this game. Goodbye. The chest takes longer. So imagine if I didn't break the candelabras for a while, I could put myself in a situation where even if I break them, I wouldn't have enough turns to make them respawn. So this is where this game gets, like, if you're trying to, like, get every item, every key item in the game to recruit everyone, this is where this game gets a little bonkers, because, like, you start having to think in galaxy brain levels of tactic, because you're no longer trying to just kill the enemies, you're trying to destroy every obstacle on the screen while avoiding the enemies until you're done with that, and then you kill the enemies. Alright, so, we're just gonna destroy those candelabras now. I don't think I need this axe. I'm just gonna remove it. I only need the Chaos Axe to hit these. Whenever you equip a weapon in the slots and play them, or even if you don't use them during the turn, as long as they are equipped and they're available during the turn, they will lose a durability point. You can see, where's my cursor? See here, it says durability 4. Where every turn that you have this equipped in one of your squares in the corners, this goes down, and when it goes to 0, they break. So if there's a weapon you don't really strictly need, you might as well unequip it. Alright. We're gonna spend this turn destroying more of those things.
Get ready. Engage.
And basically not really doing anything else. I might kill this ghost, because it's not gonna complete a Tectonic Toe line yet. And I do want to complete them eventually. I don't want to kill both of them because that would end the turn automatically. Doc has thank you, Doc, for the host. I'm sorry to everyone who just showed up, because this is an incredibly complex game, and you just missed the tutorials. And I'm not going through those again. Alright, so, we have broken. What's up with this video game? Your brain shall expand to accommodate. Oh god, now I have to accommodate people. This is Nights in the Nightmare, an incredibly complex game. Have you played this, Doc? Have you ever played this? Because I feel like I'm the only person in the world who played this sometimes and actually enjoyed it. Like, I know people who tried to play it and, like, after a couple hours were like, I'm not playing this, this is dumb. This is weird.
Item gotten. The warrior activate max charging.
You haven't. Alright, so for... Yeah, you play Ygra... I mean, if you play Ygra and, Ygra Union and Riviera, you are familiar with the way that Sting makes games unconventional, but not how this one is weird. So that's gonna be... Yeah, video games are their own thing. The easiest way to, like, present... by the way, thank you everyone for following. If you subscribe, as this message says here, if you subscribe, or give 100 bits, my cat gets a treat. If you want to see my cat, I can summon him with a treat bag. If I jiggle the treat bag... Hello, baby. Hello? Hello, you want a treat? You want a treat? I'm gonna give you one treat, because you're such a good boy. Alright, sit down. Sit down. That's not sitting down. Good boy. Give me your hand. Give me your paw. Good boy. Give me the other paw. Good boy. That's right, I taught Onion tricks. Onion is a very good boy, and I love him very much. Nineboat subscribed for 1 month, so you get a treat. Oh my god. 5 tier 1 community subs, that's 6 treats. I might lower the amount of treats, because eventually it'll be too much, and I don't want to fatten him. So I think we'll make that 3 treats for now. Okay? High five! Good boy! Come here. Come here. Turn around. No, turn around. Turn around. Turn around. You've been having trouble with that one. I'm not sure why, but we'll work on it. Sit down. High five. Good boy. All right. I should have actually. What I should do is have like a cooldown on the treats, so that people can subscribe, but Onion doesn't get like a constant stream of treats, because I don't want to fatten him too much, right? That would be unhealthy. So we're gonna have like maybe 10 minutes of no treats. But thank you everyone for subscribing. Back to this game. So how would you describe this game? This game is basically, imagine you're playing a tactical game like chess. But while you're playing chess, someone with a knife is trying to stab your hand, and you have to avoid the knife. This is what playing this game kind of feels like. It's a tactical game, like, on the surface, but the enemies will not try to attack your characters, they will try to attack your cursor, your mouse cursor, with bullet hell projectiles. Alright, so, I still don't want to kill any enemies because I want objects to respawn again. Actually, I think I might... Those don't complete the tic-tac-toe lines, so I am going to kill those.
Engage!
Alright, so, in order to attack with a weapon, we need MP. In order to get MP, we need to attack enemies without a weapon and collect crystals. You get all that? Alright, so we're just gonna do that for a little while. Doing this doesn't do any damage to enemies, it does like maybe 1 or 2 points. We have thousands of health, but we need those crystals. Right? That's probably enough for now. We have 6 MP, so now I can use a weapon, bring it to my little knife, charge it, and then when the enemies are in range, we're gonna want to attack. I would like, and this ooze is way too small for each blade, so I'm just gonna attack now. And when they die, there's like a bunch of little things that pop out. Some of them are crafting materials for the crafting system that we'll see later, and they will also release like 1 weapon. We're gonna attack this guy. You can see it says like 200% damage. This is basically related to elemental weaknesses. Like fire is strong against ice and vice versa, and etc, etc. So like, the color of the monster determines its element, and the color of the weapon also determines its element, and so you do that, etc. And then we have this thing, Roulette Wheel of Monsters, and then each monster on the roulette corresponds to a square on the tic-tac-toe wheel under, and to finish a chapter, you have to complete 1 line of tic-tac-toe. But as I said earlier, I don't want to do that yet because I want to collect every single key item that you can collect on the map. To do that, you have to wait for obstacles to respawn, which they do at different rates. So, let me see. I could have finished it because, like, if you hover all the obstacles, they all say brick to find a weapon, so none of them have key items. So I believe I've gotten all the key items in this chapter. But, you know, getting more weapons is always good, so might as well do it. This is a lot. This is a lot. This game is a lot. I went through the tutorial. It took me an hour to get through the basic tutorials, and I skipped a lot of this. Because the tutorial is long as hell. Alright, so, we're gonna, I still have my 1 axe that I just need for this. So, we're gonna go in. So, I believe, there was like 6 turns to this combat, but we don't need to do all 6, we're at 5. As soon as those items are destroyed, I can just finish the tic-tac-toe grid. Like that.
The warrior activate max charging. Break out. Suffer an icy death.
I am very enthusiastic about JRPGs that I love. I love this game, I couldn't tell you why, because it's incredibly weird and confusing. But I love it. I don't want to kill this slime before the objects are destroyed, so I'm going to wait for it to move away. Please don't spit bubbles at me, they're gross. Could you please move away? Thank you. Alright. Got the items, I'm still going to want to break So I want to get them both at the same time for maximum items
Break out. Super smash.
and all this. So yeah, all these little things I'm collecting, those are all like crafting items. For crafting ingredients for later. So we finished the combat. We cleared the map. This is the first map clear. It took so long. And like you can clear it like within the first 2 turns. But if you do that, you're missing on key items because like as you progress, as you wait a certain amount of turn, all the obstacles that you destroyed respawn and may contain more key items. So, if you're trying to collect everything and like recruit every character, it becomes this galaxy brain level of strategy where you're trying to avoid killing enemies and only attacking like the obstacles so you can get everything. It's so like brain busting. Anyway, we recruited this guy, Johann. And then between each chapter we get like a little cutscene explaining the story. So for those who just joined us, the first cutscene showed a woman in armor fleeing from a castle, and a lot of knights trying to find her, and then she went into this church and sort of just left the remains of someone, and then our ghost materialized above those remains. And whenever you finish a chapter, you get a little flashback about what happened, like, a few minutes or a few hours ago in this specific place. So, like, we get to find out what happens to Johann, the knight that we're using on this map. I'm gonna call my kitchen the Chow Hall now. Ah! The monster! And then he got killed. So one important thing. We are dead. Like, when we start the game, we are dead. Every single knight that we recruit is dead. Like, we recruit them because we find their ghost. Everyone is dead in this game. If you meet a person and you recruit them in your army, it's because they're dead. Every single person we're gonna meet is basically gonna be dead, except for like maybe 2 or 3 people. This is an incredibly dark story, and it's incredibly depressing. There is technically a good ending, but it's kind of Knights-based Nightmare. It is called Knights in the Nightmare. And it's earning that game very very well, because anyway, between chapter we get the setup screen where you can like check out a lot of stuff. You have your unit list and oh my god, what in which let's just look at the items. Okay, so we have our items. So all those are our weapons and also key items. We can display them in icons in this table or in list. I like the icons. I personally find it easier to read. The only thing is that you can't really sort them, or you have to go in the table to sort them. It's weird. So, you may notice that we have a lot of duplicates in this. Yeah, Sting only makes games that are incredibly weird. They have their own ideas about what is a video game. They don't make, like, video games that follow human rules. You might notice we have a lot of items that are identical. All these weapons, they're the same. And there's no real point to having them like this. So we can just fuse them. Like, I've just fused those two identical acts together, and their durability, just, you know, got added up. So, I'm not, like, literally, there's no reason to have several items that are, like, identical. So doing this will just clean up the screen so much. Like, every item that's identical, just gonna fuse them together, and it'll, declutter the inventory. And I mean, it's still gonna be cluttered, because there's a lot of items. There's a lot of different weapons. Oh, not this one. Oh, those were +1s. So, if you have... So I shouldn't have done that, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. So some items will have, like, a +1 in... Let me... see? Right here, it says +1. So if you fuse a weapon that has +1 with an identical weapon that has, like, 0, it'll... the resulting weapon will have the lowest... of the, like, upgrades. Like, if you fuse a +3 with a +1, it'll be +1. So the one that I have pluses, you don't necessarily want to fuse them, but the first chapter, I'm just gonna fuse all that stuff so it gets decluttered. So now, let me remove that. Now that we've done that, we have other menus. So disassembly, we can just break items we don't want for crafting materials. And then enhancement, we use crafting materials to make the weapons better. Like, for example, it highlights only the ones that I can upgrade. It's nice. This axe, this frozen axe, is a normal axe, but I have... so it's like two different... You don't really have to care too much about this, because you kind of... When you play the game, you get all these crafting materials, and you, like, forget about what you have. You sort of just get a little bit of everything. But for the purpose of explaining things, to upgrade an axe, you need an axe material, and to upgrade a frozen weapon, you need a frozen material. So you always need, like, a material of the same type of weapon and of the same elements. So, like, this frozen axe, we need axe material and frozen orb, and then I don't know why it says trust 90. I know what that means, but I don't know why they use the word trust. That's a weird trust. This basically is just the percent chance of this succeeding. So we get a frozen axe +1. Success! And we can do it again. And every time we do it, that percent chance goes down. So eventually it gets a little difficult to upgrade stuff, because it starts getting to the point where, oh, it's, you know, I think, yeah, when you fail, it loses a durability point, which is not a big deal on this thing, because it's got 20, so we're good for a while. We could just keep going. +7, yeah, sure. +8, hell yeah. Oh no, gone down. Gone down. Yeah, +9. And it doesn't go higher than +9. We don't have a lot of those, but I'm just gonna upgrade it a little bit. There we go. Oh, we have a +9 level 1 axe. They have levels. The weapons have levels. You can't, like, increase the level of a weapon. It's just kind of what the stats are gonna do. I don't know. Let me see the items. So there's gotta be somewhere where you can see... Right, okay. I remember now. the level of the weapon indicates what level your unit has to be to wield it. So, for example, this barbarian axe, the one that's +4, is level 8. My unit, the only one I have right now, let's see, Johan, is level 2, so he cannot use that weapon. Now, we can level up our knights. All the experience that we got during the battle, which you see right here, this number, we can give them to our knights. Onion? Onion, that's the webcam. You're not supposed to smack the webcam away. It's a little rude. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Onion? Sorry, I don't have like a webcam. I don't have a normal webcam. I'm using a PlayStation 3i, which is just a little thing on a, No, Onion, you're doing it again. Hey, Onion! Do you want attention, my baby? Do you want attention? Do you want to play? Do you want to play with me? Do you want me to stop playing video games? Oh, why do you play so many video games? You don't pay attention to me. I don't like it when it's not about me. Like a thing. I don't know where I put this. I had a toy that he likes, which is literally just a straw attached to a chopstick. Because he likes both of these things. Oh wait, there it is. There you go, baby. What was I talking about? So, right, we can give our characters experience. I go into this menu, and then I select my character, and it says, well, it costs this much to give him a level. And then he's leveled up, and he recovered some vit. Oh my god, I have to explain that too. Vitality. Vitality is basically the durability of units. Like, when you use a weapon in battle for a turn, it will lose 1 durability point. Units are the same thing, but with vitality. So every time you put a unit on the field, they will use vitality for that battle, and if they go to 0, they disappear. But they don't die because they're already dead. Their ghost just disappears. So when you level them up, they gain back some vitality. It's nice. How much vitality you have? 17.50. I forget how it works. I think it's like each time you attack with a character. He stole the toy, didn't he? Grambling. Each time you attack, I think they lose a little bit of vitality. And I think that might depend on the weapon you use. Oh my god, also, here's another mechanic you don't really have. I never really paid attention to that. But there's also, like, each character has law and chaos stats. That's like his affinity to each phase. And so if you use a law weapon with that character, it'll be it'll do more damage than a chaos weapon, but it has more law affinity. There's so many layers of stats and systems in this game. It's... Anyway. There's so much of this you don't really have to remember, because you can kind of just play fine without paying attention to a lot of it. Let's just save. Save the game and go to the next chapter. Yes. Right. Thank you. Okay. There's a menu that's called leveling. It's literally just you get to replay previous maps to grind for levels. You don't have to do that, but it's basically if you find yourself in an unwinnable situation, which is possible, because like your knights are not level enough to fight something or whatever. Basically, they give you that option so that you can grind for experience and then give that experience to your knights to like finish the level better. I don't think I've ever had to use this. It's just like a fallback thing if you're doing really poorly. Yeah, let's end the setup. That was a lot of explanation for a bloody menu. Let me get rid of that arrow. So this is the person who fled from a castle and sort of summoned our ghost. I bet your attention is divided between the story that's happening on the screen and this little cutie pie trying to grab this toy, this straw. This text goes too fast every time I try to read it. Basically, shit's gone wrong. Every chapter for a while, we're gonna be like, wow, shit's gone wrong. Wow, shit's gone really wrong. Happened to the king's soul. So this is the thing that the woman in armor stole, the king's remains. Apparently the king died. And everyone is like, well, that's not good. Say there was a theft, but tell no one what was stolen. We can't let people know that someone stole the body of our king. How bad is your security? Well, to be fair, in the intro cutscene, you see the woman in armor, like, absolutely destroying the people on guard, so she was pretty strong. It wasn't for a lack of security, it was just that she destroyed them. That's me, I'm the weird thing. I'm the ghost. All the monsters can see us, and they all want to eat us or destroy us. This game follows a very, like, rigid structure. Every chapter starts with, like, a little, like, narration text, and then a cutscene, and then you go on the battlefield and the monsters taunt you, and then, like, a narration voice talks to you, and then you do the battle, and then you get a little flashback cutscene about what happened in the battle, and then go to the next chapter. Onion is trying to grab the little arrow on the screen right now. Onion, it's not real. It can't hurt you. Come play with the toy. Alright. So let's just look at what we have on this. We have Bon Clavel, a warrior, and we have Moira Chateletz, who is a hermit. I don't know why they're called a hermit. They're basically rogues or thieves. That's what they are. So what else? We have this enemy here. It's like a snowy elf. It's like a tree, a dryad, called Stormpark. How can you be a thief at seclusion? I mean, I don't know. I call them thief because they like use knives and they have like thieves like ability. I don't know. Also, none of them. They're all knights of the kingdom, so none of them are in seclusion. They're all part of the army. I don't know why they're called hermits. There's Spider. Alright, so things of interest to us here are the obstacles. We have this wooden crate. We have the sign. And we have grassland. Yes, that is an obstacle, and that contains a key item. You can see, like, all of these say open or break to find a key item, so they all contain a key item. We all want these, because key items are very important. So let me just select the corners of the screen, so that's where you put your weapons and items. So these knights on the field are not our knights. They are knights that were here on the map when we arrived. They're dead. They're ghosts right now, but they're not in our army. We want to recruit them. So we look at our key items. There's like 2 of them where the word key is in yellow. That means there's the one we need. Click on this. It says Moira may have a connection to this. Let's equip it in the corner. And favorite jug. Bon may have a connection to this. Put that here. Okay. And then we want... so let me just check the range of my characters. Okay. So you can see here the range of their attacks. This is where their attacks will reach. Again, characters cannot move, and they can only look in those 2 directions. Yes, that sounds incredibly weird, but that's just how it works. Like, the knight can only look in those 2 directions, cannot look downwards. The hermit only look downwards, cannot look up. Only these 2 directions. You get all that? That's just how it works. Don't ask. Don't ask. Don't ask why it's like this. That's just how it is. As soon as you start asking these questions, you're just gonna get lost. So that's their attack pattern in Law phase. If I switch to Chaos phase, they have different ones. So, it looks like the warrior is the only one who can hit any of those items. Like the grassland, in Chaos phase he can hit the grassland, and the crate, whoops. And here he can hit the sign. The Law phase he can hit all of them. That's good to know. But if I remember correctly, you can only break items. Oh my god, why? There's always a thing. We need weapons. So, we equip our weapons. I don't really need the hermit to do damage, so I'm not gonna equip a weapon to the hermit. Doing okay there, buddy? I'm gonna equip this axe to the warrior. I'm gonna equip this. It has to be a low-level axe. This guy's probably not high level. There we go. This guy's level 4. So I have 2 axes equipped on the corners of my screen. And the 2 items that are related to my characters. So let's start the battle. you may notice the tic-tac-toe grid is already bigger. It's a 4x4 now. Which means we have to kill at least 4 monsters in any vertical, horizontal, or diagonal line to finish the battle. Again, we don't want to do that too quickly, because if we do that too quickly, we may miss some key items. I love how the loading screens are so quick that you cannot read that text. They were longer when the game was on a UMD on the PSP, but now it's like on a hard drive, so you can't read this. Alright, so now the battle has started. Something I didn't point out earlier, you can see on the side. Whoops, I got hit. You have little icons for each of the monsters, and they're basically indicating when they will attack. Like when that little icon reaches the top of the screen, the monster attacks. I rarely pay attention to this, but you know, it's nice. So what I want to do right now is I don't have a lot of mana and MP, so I do want to collect crystals. We do this by not getting hit. We do this by selecting a character without a weapon and attacking normally.
Feel the wrath of my blade.
Yeah, crystal.
Let open fire.
Attack.
I'll cleave
Oh, I got her.
MP.
MP, build up.
Yeah,
MP,
let's
warrior.
do that one more
activated.
time.
Enemy attack. The enemy.
We got 9 MP right now. That's the max we can have at any given point, so this is fine.
Attach.
I think
Shooting raid. Enforce the law.
the law.
Max charging.
So I want to destroy these 2 objects here, the grass and the crate,
Fall into the abyss.
and they give me key items.
Shooting raid.
I'll take those. I do want to, well, they're damaged right now. They're fragile. This one's open. I want to destroy them completely.
Axe. The warrior activated.
Maximum.
Charging.
Break out.
Fall into the abyss.
Now this one's destroyed, and this one is, fragile. I'll destroy that
Shooting
one.
raid. The axe attached.
Ugh.
Warrior activated.
Max charging.
Thank you, Mr. Spider, for making the screen incredibly busy.
Impressed.
Alright, so that crate is destroyed. Now we're gonna take care of that sign.
The warrior activated. Max
Charging. Break out.
Fall into the abyss. The enemy's hurt.
Item caught.
Okay, that's a key item. Sign is fragile, so attack again to destroy it.
Maximum.
Charging.
Ah, I got hit.
Break out.
Fall into the abyss.
Alright, so all obstacles are destroyed. And I think it's... I could just collect more MPs, or I could kill these things. I think I'm gonna do both
The
here.
axe attached. It's my turn.
Charging.
Oh, this axe requires a lot of charge time.
Enemy attack.
Break out. Freeze smashing.
This thing is an ice enemy, and I'm using an ice axe, so it's not doing a lot of damage. But whenever it teleports, like it teleported at just that moment, it changes element. I think that's a unique thing about this enemy. The Dryad just changes element every time it moves.
Shooting raid.
It will teleport randomly around the map. So like when you're setting up at the start of the turn your weapons and you're trying to decide your weapon, oh, what's the best one to kill that enemy? The Dryad missed out. Oh well, that doesn't matter because this thing just changed element. Thanks, game.
Freeze smashing.
It's fine though. We can still kill it. Okay, do I want to kill this thing? Actually check. No, you can't really check their movement. Oh, okay. Alright, so it's right in front of
The
me.
warrior
Kill
activated.
it?
It's my turn, eh?
Oh, I'm out of time, so I can't charge the thing.
I'll cleave your skull.
Alright. I ran out of time, so now the turn is over. That's fine. We got all the key items that were available on the screen. Now we want... Fine. type of game could be mainstream with the right presentation or marketing. I don't know what that would be, though. This game is so incredibly convoluted. Like, take every rule that you sort of take for granted in a tactical game, because that's just what feels, you know, instinctive. This game doesn't do it. Because this game's like, I'm above that. I'm above rules that feel natural. Let's just do something weird. Okay, so objects take a little while to respawn. I don't remember... I do not remember... oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to give the knights their unique items, their key items, so we can recruit them. But that's fine. We can just do that this turn. So we can destroy all these enemies. That should be fine. I think what I will do is change... Give a weapon to the hermit. What weapons do we have for hermits? So hermits use... I think knives like these? Like I have a chaos knife and I have a long knife with skill. Chaos, okay. What's the chaos range? When she's chaos, she attacks like this, which should be fine to attack this dryad. Unless the dryad moves, but we'll deal with that. We'll just go.
Get ready.
Engage! The dagger
Attack. Dryad right now before it moves.
Maximum.
Break out! You shall be engulfed.
There we go, dryad dead. Alright.
Shooting range.
Let's recruit some characters. So, I showed this earlier. But if you pause the game while you're hovering on a character, you can sort of talk to them, or like hear what they're thinking. Moira, my comrades failed one by one, and I couldn't do anything, presumably. What about Vaughn? The Order can protect the castle, who will? Anyway, well,
Open fire.
let's give them their items.
The hermit activate.
Item is related to Moira. First time I saw him, but he felt like home. Her item is a wedding ring. I forget who she's talking about, but she's talking about another knight. Another knight proposed to her.
Special act. The warrior activated.
Drinking isn't good for you. Vaughn loves to drink. He's a drunkard. He loves to booze. And he has a favorite jug. And these little things, like when you talk to characters like that, they will refer to other characters often. There is like character interactions, character relationships that you can only find out about by doing this. By like pressing start to listen to them talk about a random thing. And like these little things that they say are very random each turn. You can do it once a turn. They'll have a random thing to say. And there's a lot of like characterization you can miss because I forget to do that. Like it's you can do it on enemies too, but usually they don't have a lot of interesting things to say. Like the tarantula will just hiss at you. Oops, no. I went to the slime will just say blue, or in the previous chapter it says blur. Lagging with no audio. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure it's fine on my end. We do want to kill these monsters right now.
The warrior activated.
So we're fine on the tic-tac-toe grid.
Fall into the abyss.
Item gotten.
Collect all that.
The axe attached.
Actually, before we attack again, I'm gonna collect some crystals
I'll cleave your skin.
for the next turns.
The warrior activated.
Attack. I'll cleave your skin.
Always good to be full of crystals whenever.
It's my
Attack.
I'll click shooting range. The enemy's hurt. The warrior activated. It's my turn. Maximum range. Attack. I'll cleave your skin.
MP build up.
By the way, I cannot disable those voice clips. They will have those voice clips all the time, every time. Those will never go away. I'm sorry.
Fall into the abyss. Heal out.
All the monsters on screen are dead, so the turn ends. Got a bunch of weapons. Now, I want to select my monster so I do not complete a tic-tac-toe grid yet. You also want to kill the maximum amount of monsters you can, just because it gives you more XP. But if you complete the tic-tac-toe grid too quickly, you know, you get less XP. Okay. So, yeah, we're just gonna kill those. No other elements to care about right now. Just kill monsters.
Chaos Rain!
The dagger attack.
The Hermit active!
Max charging. Maximum power.
Break out. You shall
Open.
Best.
Shooting range.
Angry!
The dagger
I like that little angry text. He's angry now.
activated.
Charging.
Break out.
Fall into the obsession. Item cut. The axe. Enemy attack.
Maximum.
Charging.
Maximum.
Break out. Fall into the obsession.
Ryder's got a lot of HP. I'm doing 100% damage and still not dead after 2 hits.
Charging.
One thing is that enemies regen their health if you, over time. It's slow, but if you don't do anything for a while, like, they're just gonna have more and more health back.
Warrior. Activate.
Like, when you decide to kill them, you're better off doing it, like, as
Fall
fast
into
as
the obsession. It was great.
Alright. Enemies are dead. Next turn. Alright, let me see. Is there anything more I can kill without completing the tic-tac-toe grid? There is that... Nope, that's... yeah, that yellow enemy I can kill. That will not complete the tic-tac-toe. And... No, whoops. I didn't want me to select this one, because that one will complete it. I don't want to kill that red enemy. And objects still have not respawned. I think I might actually not do anything for this turn, because I don't want to risk completing the tic-tac-toe grid too early, and I do want to let these objects respawn. So we're just gonna start the turn and then quit it immediately.
Engage!
And we'll just convert time for XP. Just get more XP out of your turn. Okay. I can do this again. Onion, you're in front of the TV right now. I don't think there's a single blue enemy that I can kill without completing the tic-tac-toe grid at this point. But it doesn't matter which one I select. Right, alright, so one object has respawned, the crate. I'm gonna take a look, and it contains a key item. So if I completed the map too quickly, this key item I would have missed. And then there's a character I would not have been able to recruit later. This is how this game goes. And this is why you don't want to finish maps too quickly. You can, but you would miss a lot of stuff. We're gonna equip back our weapons. Wait, which one? No, I want a law weapon. That's what is check. Yeah, there you go. We can kill... So if I kill the red enemy, it's not going to complete the tic-tac-toe. The only one I don't want to kill is the blue one, which is close to... Well, it's gonna move, so I need to be careful. Actually, I just noticed if you hover on the enemies, it's gonna say, like, in this space. There. So this one says final. So you can tell this one will complete a line on the tic-tac-toe grid. The other ones don't say final, so it's fine to kill them for now. So, you know, it's good to know. That's all I need. Let's start.
Engage!
The axe. The warrior activated.
Charging.
Maximum.
We actually can reach this guy, but 3% damage is like so little it doesn't matter.
Item got
Like
it.
that.
The axe.
The warrior.
Maximum.
Charging! Break out!
Fall into the abyss.
That's dead.
Item got
Weapon. Ugh, got hit.
the axe. That's the warrior. Active max charging. Max
Break out.
That should be fine. I want 25 damage to kill it. Alright. Weapon is crushed. Now I'm gonna kill the spider, and I will end turn.
Maximum.
Charging!
Maximum.
Break out!
fall into the abyss.
Spider's dead.
Splendid.
So I'm gonna end turn. Give me all the remaining time. Give me that as XP. I don't know how watchable any of this is. I'm trying my best to explain what's happening and what I'm doing, but like, if you show up halfway through it as like, I'm not gonna re-explain everything all over again every time. And unless you know the basic mechanics, it's just gonna read like nonsense to you. So now I don't think there's anything I can kill without completing the tic-tac-toe. Actually, the top left red enemy I could kill without completing. Every other ones would complete a line, but not that one. If I kill it alone. So I could do that. Now, no objects have respawned, so I'm gonna unequip everything, and we're just gonna skip that turn, see if any object respawn next turn.
Engage.
Okay, skip. And next turn is the last one. See, it says you have 7 turns to finish this combat. So, we do have to finish the tic-tac-toe grid on next turn, regardless of what happens. And there you go. 2 objects have respawned. I do have a little bit of a trouble here, is that I might end up killing an enemy at the same time. I think I can do this. It shouldn't be too hard. I just want to make sure both objects are destroyed before enemies are killed. Or at the same time. If it's at the same time, it should be fine. I do want that. Okay. That's all I should need. And see, it's the last turn, so it's like, it's the message is red now. You really gotta do it. You gotta fill that line in the tic-tac-toe grid, otherwise you're gonna lose.
Engage.
Okay, we only have. I need some more mana. I think.
Warrior activated.
It's my turn.
Maximum range!
I would like. Here we go.
Attack. I'll cleave your the enemy.
The warrior activated.
Attack. I'll cleave your the enemy's hurt. MP build up. The axe. The warrior activated.
Maximum.
Charging!
Maximum
I
power.
hope
Break
I
out!
can break that
Fall
sign.
into the abyss.
Yeah, there you go.
Item
Okay.
gotten.
We got a weapon out of that. Now,
Open fire.
break
The warrior active max charging.
this object.
Maximum breakout. Fall
I should
into
kill
the
that
abyss.
enemy as well. Oh, the enemy's not dead.
The enemy's item
I got a weapon out of that. So these last 2 objects contained weapons, not key items. So if I missed out on those, it was not a big deal. But you know, you want to get 100% stuff. You want to get all the stuff. You know,
into the
like
Impressive.
Right, so I'm killing these 2 enemies, and I completed a line of tic-tac-toe, and now the chapter's done. The turn limit is the only losing condition for the entire game. Like, when you get hit by a bullet, you're losing time, which is the resource you use to power up your knights. It's not an actual timer. It's like a stamina bar. It's better to think of it as a stamina bar. And when your time goes to 0, the turn ends, but you can still continue. The only losing condition is running out of turns before you complete the tic-tac-toe grid. But, like, it's pretty easy for the most part of the game to complete the tic-tac-toe grid. The challenge is getting every single key item from the map before completing the tic-tac-toe grid. Pardon me. Alright. So that's another chapter. I don't know how long I want to go for this. Maybe until 9 p.m. And then I'm just gonna make myself some dinner. Result screen. We can see all the monsters we killed. It's neat. We have recruited 2 more characters. I'll do my best. Conditional tic-tac-toe. It's all about risking it, basically. It was still autumn, and the castle had not yet faced disaster, so this was further back before the king died? King of the castle wished for a blood tie to end the feud between the Tiamats and the humans. And eventually the text went far away. Some individuals don't want peace, I guess. Bad news. Monsters here and there, foul weather, poor crops. Pretty bad news. The kind of talk that always gets you down. I'm telling you, this game is incredibly depressing. I've got some good news for you. Want to hear it? You're not gonna tell me I get to take care of a cutie, then make me babysit some little girl again, are you? What does that mean? Looks like we're getting reinforcements! Yay! I hear the king himself is leading the army this way. I've got bad news for you, lady. The king's dead now. General was talking to the messenger a moment ago. It's starting to get lonely out there. We might be able to restock her booze supply too. Yay, I love drinking. Sounds like a good idea. So we don't get shown how these two died. We just get shown this little conversation. A lot of the time... Well, I don't know actually, but sometimes you just get to see how the characters you just recruited died. Alright. It's time for inventory management! Can we fuse anything? Use these two things. I don't think there's anything else. I don't want to fuse this frozen axe with this one, because this one is +9 and this one is +0. And that would make the result +0. We could probably enhance this one a bunch, because we got a bunch of materials from that. It's fine, it's durability. But like above 20 durability is fine. Basically, you can use it for 27 turns. Plenty. We'll be using other weapons by then. So yeah, we got a +9 now. That's neat. There's an argument, like, you could not necessarily want weapons too powerful, because then you would kill enemies too quickly in situations where you'd have no choice but to hit an enemy when what you want to do is hit an object, but we'll deal with it when that comes up, you know? No worries right now. So XP, we can give XPs to our characters. So it's actually not necessarily good to give all your XPs to your characters early, because you're gonna get more characters who, some of them can be better. Like, Bon, way better than, Johan. I mean, I'm just gonna point out, Johan has Vitality 17, Bon, almost 30. So already, more Vitality, that's better. His Loyalty is higher. And don't ask me what that does, I forgot. But it's higher, so it's better. So I'm actually not gonna level them up right now. The big reason you want to level them up is so that they use higher level weapons, really. So like if I have like a level 8 axe here. If I wanted them to use that, I would want to level them up to 8. But we're not at that point where we really need that. So right now, I'm just gonna let that go. I'm just not gonna bother about leveling them up. I do want to take a look at our key items. I actually forgot about this one. This one we got on the first chapter. This is the last key item that was available. It was in one of the objects that respawned, so you can very easily miss that one. And if we look at it, it says, Zolgonark may have a connection to this. And it says you will meet this character in Scene 46. Scene 46, by the way, is the final chapter of the game. So, you get this in the first chapter, and you can very easily miss it. And it's, when you get that in the first chapter, you're like, well, that's ominous. Zolkonark? That's a name. This is also a time where I should point out, not every key item you get is used to recruit characters. Some of them are used for other things, and I'm just gonna say, Zolkonark, not a character we're gonna recruit. The opposite, actually. But like when you play the game the first time and you see that, you're like, what? Why am I getting something that's so far away? We have a letter opener, that's for a character in Scene 4. This wallet is for Norton in Scene 3, that's the next scene. That's the Ocarina of Time, I guess? But it doesn't go for Link. It's just the Ocarina of Time is here, I don't know. Don't ask me. Slim Dart for Martin. And, Pish Bobble for Jamie. Well, that's neat. So, you know. So yeah, like, some of these are for characters in Scene 4, and this one is for Scene 46. So, like, a lot of items that... You're gonna get a lot of items that are for characters, like, several chapters away. So if you're not playing the game very optimally, you can get to a chapter and you're like, well, I don't have a key item for this character, I guess I'm not getting it, because it's too late. This key item was probably, like, 3 chapters behind me. There's no way, like, I'm not gonna keep a save file for each chapter. I'm not gonna go back. It's way too far away. Screw this. Save the game. I'll make a different... Oh, fun fact. You cannot make a different save file for each chapter. You can only make 3 save files. So they don't even let you do that anyway. I forgot about that. So that's fun. Alright, let's move on to the next chapter. Hooray. This game is like a good novel. I mean, I like the story. I do like the story of this game. I think it's a little bit of a shame that it's behind so many complicated game mechanics. And I like the game mechanics, but like it turns off a lot of people. I feel like they could have kept the tactical game with a bullet hell on top aspect and like trim down like 70% of the systems. Because so many of the systems are kind of just there and you don't have to pay attention to them that much. There's an entire system that I have not brought up yet that is so galaxy brain complicated. I literally never pay attention to it. But it's there, and it impacts your gameplay pretty significantly, actually. They're still looking for the woman in armor. But they didn't tell any of the knights outside the castle what she did. Because they won't want anyone to know that they stole the king's remains. Well, they should have been more alert. So knights are still looking for that woman, not finding her. She's right here. She's still walking around and talking to herself. I think she's basically drawing the knight's attention from us. But like, we're our character, our soul, we don't know who we are. Although it's somewhat obvious who we are because the woman in armor stole the king's remain and then summoned us. So like, it's not a huge reveal that we are the king, the dead king. But they don't actually, like, explicitly say that until later. And right now, we're kind of just wandering around the forest, aimlessly, fighting monsters. Begin the battle. Okay, well, let's take a look at this map. We already have some characters on it. We have a new class of knight. We have the Lance Knight. This character is very useful because it is one of two classes that can actually move. All the other classes are just like anchored in one spot and they cannot move. The Lance Knight can move. They can only move when they do their Chaos attack, the red one. The Law attack just attacks along that line, but doesn't do... They don't move. And they can move in any direction. Any of all four cardinal directions. So they are incredibly useful in every map if you want to maneuver around them to reach objects. Because only warriors can break objects. Anyone can... open an object to get the item inside, but only the warriors can break them to force them to respawn again later. It's incredibly convoluted, I know. And you might be, so like, does that mean some objects cannot be broken? Well, if you don't have to use these characters. Like I can say, don't put it, like empty this tile. Now no one's on this tile, and now I can select a different character. And I could select a warrior. So like, what I could do is take the Lance Knight, and like, I could decide, he's right here right now. And I could decide, I want to destroy this bit of grass. So I could decide to move the Lance Knight over to this tile, for like a turn, and then next turn, I switch out the Lance Knight for a warrior, and I destroy the grass. And that's where it starts getting incredibly complicated to destroy every object on the map to get every item. And there's some point where I'm probably not going to get all of them, but I will try to get most of them. It gets complicated because you gotta optimize everything. And sometimes there's so many enemies doing so many attacks that you sort of waste turns trying to get what you're trying to do. Anyway, one thing to note is, on top of these characters, there's also an NPC. That's not a knight. It says right here, not a knight. In case you were wondering. If you give... So this character also takes a key item. If you give them a key item, you get a weapon, just like it says. This character will not join you at the end. So like, some key items, it's not a huge deal if you miss them, because you're really just missing a weapon, and the game is gonna throw so many weapons at you that it's not like a huge deal. Typically, the weapons you get from NPCs are more powerful. But again, it's not like a huge deal if you miss out on them. On a few of them, but we're still gonna try to get most of them. So that's what this is. So what do we want to do right now? We probably let me check the range of this guy. This guy, in Chaos Mode, he can reach... Oh, by the way, might be wondering, there are several objects. There's, like, the grass here, the box here. This is a platform. This counts as an object. You'll get a key item from breaking this. If you break this, your units can no longer walk on it, but you get a key item from breaking this. Do you see where it gets so complicated? So we have to break this, but then my knight can't. Oh my god. So how do we want to do this? So, unit mode. Okay, so this character can, in Chaos Mode, it can break this. And that's the only thing. In Law Mode, it can break this, and that's the only thing. So, this grass and this part of the bridge, I cannot break right now. I need to take my knight and move it in a position where I could do that. Now the question is, where would that be? Check the range. So in Chaos Mode, this is 3. The range is 3 tiles. So if I put this guy on this tile, it would be 1, 2, 3 tiles, so it would reach this one, and I think it would also reach this one. Like, I would have to use the law attack, but that should work. What I'm gonna... Basically, my objective for this first turn is gonna be to move this knight Oh, but there's already, there's an NPC here. I don't remember if you can move knights onto NPCs, actually. I think you might be unable to do so. Which is problematic. We're gonna try. And if it doesn't work, I might actually move him here. We'll see. If he's here, that's 1, 2, so he would reach that. And then 1, 2, he wouldn't be able to reach that. The problem is this grass that's a little bit out of the way. Well, we're gonna try. What we're gonna do first is equip some items. I think the only thing we really need right now is an axe for our warrior, so he can break that crate. That's the only weapon we need. And we'll pick... Oh, actually, no, too. I need to break that. I need a Chaos Axe, a Law Axe. That's fine. Chaos Axe, and then a Law Axe. Onion, you're in front of the screen. And then the remaining slots, we're going to put our key items to recruit our characters. Whoops. So I think we're ready. We're going to start the tournament.
Get ready. Engage.
Alright. We're going to start by talking to our characters. I was attacked by something. A monster? Well, you died. No. Yes, that's yours,
The
I
item
believe.
attached.
Oh, this is my wallet. I thought I'd lost it. Well, here you go. I found your wallet. You're dead. But, you know, losing your wallet is so annoying, I bet you're glad to have it. So he gave us a weapon for that. That's what NPCs do. You give them their lost items, they give you a weapon. What do you have to say? Western sky lit up like lightning. Lightning. What was that? I don't know, Martin. Something bad, probably. Me and Johan joined the Knights at the same time, so now, because we met Johan, and he referred to him, it says, like, it highlights the relationship. I think if we somehow didn't recruit Johan, he wouldn't do that. Like, it's a dynamic thing. So these two are friends. This is important, by the way. There's a gameplay mechanic related to characters who are friends. And he will not tell you otherwise. Like, you have to listen to their dialogue to find out who is friends with whom.
The item attached.
This belongs to you. This is very nice.
Activate.
I used to play this when I was lonely. Aww. Alright. So now he's recruited. We still have one more key item, but we'll use it next turn. So now, the next thing I want to do is move the Lance Knight over to the tile I indicated. Can you move above an NPC? I don't remember. Yes, you can. Alright, that's good. Thank you. So I believe this should allow us to, from the next turn on, destroy every obstacle on the screen. Now that that's done, I think I'm just gonna focus on destroying this crate.
The axe. The warrior. Activate. Ready. Maximum range. Charging. Open. Break out. I will corrupt your soul. It worked.
Oh, shoot. So that was a mistake. If you... certain types of items, like the kind who have to be open, you don't want to destroy them too fast, because then the key item is destroyed. So I screwed that up. If I want that key item, I need to restart. Whoop! It was the beginning of the chapter, so I'm willing to do that. Later in the game, I might not bother with this. But, you know, you gotta get 100%. So actually, I want to do this with a weapon that's not as powerful. It's okay, we're gonna skip every cutscene and get back to... when I don't have to explain stuff, I can navigate the menus fairly quickly. I hope y'all are entertained by... Yes, my background on this thing is pretty, because I think it's a funny background. Skip. Please, skip. Skip all the stuff, yes, skip that too. Gotta press skip for every single one of these. You can also speed them up with R. World Explanations Story. Whoops, that one too fast. That's what happens when your loading screens have too much text. Alright, so we're gonna take weaker weapons. Do I have a law axe that's not a lot of damage? No, I don't, because like a dummy, I upgraded it to level 9. That's fine. Let me just, so this one, plus 53 to max damage. This one, a lot more, so I don't want that. Well, okay, so there's two things you gotta look at. This is the amount of damage it's gonna do. I think this is like the bonus you get from the weapon quality, like from the plus 4. You get 37%. So in this, even though there's like a higher percent bonus, like the base damage is still low. We're gonna use that. Okay. And what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna charge my attack as much, and that should do the trick. And I'm just gonna equip my key items. Go. Ready.
Get ready. Engage.
I'm gonna talk to you, because if I don't do that, it doesn't unlock the talk thing. The talk messages.
The item.
It's yours?
The warrior. Activate. The item.
That is also yours. Here you go. Here's your ghost wallet with your ghost ID. You need that for the afterlife. They don't let you in the afterlife if you don't have your ghost ID. It's incredibly problematic. Okay. Let's try that again. Try to break that crate and not destroy it.
Attack. I'll hack you in two.
I didn't do that right.
Build up. MP. Build up. The axe. The warrior. Activate. Damn it. Into maximum range. Charging. Break out.
Please don't destroy
I
it.
will corrupt your soul.
Okay. It did a lot of damage still, but I didn't destroy it. I got the item this time. Yay! Victory! Now we can destroy it. Now it's fine to destroy it, because I got the key item.
Break out. I will
Now I'm going to damage it more. It's going to go to fragile state. There we go. Nice fragile.
The axe. The warrior. Activate. Ready. Maximum range. Charging.
I'm destroying it.
I will
Alright. So I do want to move that knight
maximum range.
over to that tile I selected.
No way.
Them
Attack. I
here.
shall crush my
And
fist.
when I switch this guy to a warrior, that should, if I counted this correctly, that should give me range to get this and this.
Enforce the law.
So now, there's still one more object I can destroy with this guy.
Max charging.
So this
Break
one.
out. Suffer. How fortunate! It worked.
So I don't think that's a container, so I think it's fine if I just destroy it. One thing is that it has a lot of health, it looks like. I could have selected a better axe for this.
The axe attached. The warrior. Max charging. Maximum power.
Yeah, I'm gonna run out of time before I can destroy it, I think.
Death. Enemy attack. MP.
But
It
that's
worked.
fine. That's fine. We'll manage.
The axe.
Also gonna need more MP.
The warrior. Act max charging. Max breakout. Suffer smash hit. Lucky. It worked.
48%. I think we can do it.
The axe attached. The warrior. Act max charging. Max breakout. Suffer smash hit. Good. It worked.
62, except I'm out of MP, so I have to do this now.
Lance Knight. Attack.
That's
I
gonna
shall
use my
crush
time.
It worked. MP build up. Enemy attack. Shooting raid. Reinforce the wall. Let chaos reign. The axe. The warrior. Act max charging. Max
I
breakout.
don't think
Suffer an icy death.
yeah, there's no way I'm doing this turn.
How fortunate.
That's probably fine.
Enforce the law. The Lance Knight. Attack. Enemy attack. Open fire. Enemy. The Lance Knight. Activate. Attack. I shall crush my time.
Hey, my baby. Hey, my baby. Is it dinner time? It's dinner time! It's dinner time! Ah, yes, that's right. It's dinner time. Good boy. Good boy. Alright. Onion has been given his dinner because it's 8 p.m. That's when his dinner time is. He's very smart. He knows when dinner is. I think I'm gonna finish this chapter and then call it a stream. Because I'm getting hungry and I want to prepare dinner for myself. Right, well, let's try it. Okay, I don't think it really matters because none of them are dead, so... Select all of these. I do want to start killing them, but... Do I have no... Oh, I should have recruited the Lance Knight Blaster instead of him, because I'm still going to use him. That's fine, we can work with this. This guy does not have a lot of vitality. Like, look at this, only 5.90. He's gonna die soon, so I think I'm actually gonna switch him out to a different warrior who has more vitality, like Fawn. And him, I'm gonna switch him out for Johan. Because I want to be able. Okay, so was I correct? Yes. Okay, so he can reach. He can reach this tile with his chaos attack, and whoop, go back. And he can reach this tile with his law attack. So now I have access to all the breakable objects, and I will be able to get every key item. And we'll see if there are more key items when they respawn. If they respawn, I don't actually know if the bridge respawns. I know the crate and the grass respawn eventually. I don't know about the bridge. So these two weapons should be enough. Later, during a turn, when we don't have anything to do, I'm going to switch back to the knight and give him the Lance Knight and give him his key item so we can recruit him. So right now, I think I want to switch this to the +9 frozen axe, because you saw the bridge took a while to get destroyed, so we need something a little stronger. Yeah, +9 frozen axe will do nicely, and that should help us. Like, if I look at the stats, show me the stats. This is a different screen. This one has plus 25%. This one has plus 58, so it should be fairly more effective. I don't think I can use higher level axes because he's level 4, he's level 3. And we just sort. Show me the axes. I have a level 4 axe. How much does that do? This does quite a bit more. It's long. But yeah, we might use that actually. Oh, but I need to switch them out because he's too low level. Bear with me. I know, I just want to switch them. Bloody Gabe. Okay. Alright. Still need a Chaos on this. That one. Okay. So, that... Johan is too low level for the level 4 axe, but he doesn't need a long weapon anymore. There's no obstacle that require a lot from him. So I believe that setup should be fine. Let's go. Loy is loyalty. They have a loyalty stat. I do not remember what it does. It does something.
Enforce the law.
I can tell you that much. It does something.
Open hot left. The axe attached. Enemy attack. Open fire. Maximum range. Charging.
Yeah, that should get both of these.
Freeze to death. MP. The enemy.
Boom! Alright, look at all these objects. I think that was a moment, but whatever.
Enforce the law. The axe. The war shooting range. Max of charging. Axe break out. Raging bolt. MP. The enemy. Build up.
Oh, this is not destroyed. Okay, the bridge is really tough.
Attention warrior. Activated. Max of charging. Axe break out. Raging bolt. Strike down my bolt.
But it should go a bit faster with this axe.
The
Pretty
warrior.
powerful.
Active. Max of charging. Break out. Raging bolt. Strike down my bolt. Miss. Enemy
I'm out of
attack.
MP, so I need to farm crystals now.
Ready. Attack. I'll hack you in. Open. It worked. MP build up. The warrior. Active. Attack. I'll hack you in two. It worked. The warrior. Activate. Attack. I'll hack you in two.
Okay.
MP build up. MP. Enforce the law. The axe. The warrior. Activated. Max charging. Max. Break out. Raging bolt. Strike down my bolt. The enemy's item
Okay,
got
one more item. Now, I'm gonna focus on destroying these objects. I've got the items out of them.
the axe attached.
Destroying them will
It's my
force them
turn.
to respawn later.
Charging. Break out. Freeze to death. MP.
There we go.
Great.
These are all broken. Put the long axe and destroy that other part of the bridge. I do not remember if the bridge can respawn, but might as well break it, you know?
Strike down my MP. Build MP destroyed.
And there we go.
Enemy
Do we
attack.
have time to kill a monster? I'm not sure.
Let chaos
Probably
reign.
not the blue tree.
Open fire. The axe. Shooting
Let me
warrior.
attack this one and see how much damage they do.
Maximum range. Charging.
Oh, there's two of them. Oh no, it's disappearing.
Suffer a nice smash.
Alright, well this one's dead.
An enemy attack.
And that's the end of the turn. Alright, we got a teapot, and a war statue, and crochet needle. Very important. So no objects have respawned, so what I'm gonna do here is... yeah, switch you out for our guest. No, not him. This one, okay. Because I have not recruited you yet. I'm gonna switch to your key item, which is the Slim Dart. And, what do we want to... yeah, I think I'm just gonna have one Chaos Axe, and one... we should have somewhere... what's the item for these? Okay, these are the... so that's the Lance Knight weapon, Law, and one Chaos Axe. So that should allow us to clear the enemies nicely. And I'm just gonna point equip this. I don't need it. And it's probably good for this turn. So right now we're just gonna kill enemies.
Engage!
Are the citizens of the West safe? I don't know. There's a lot of monsters around, so probably not.
The item, the Lance Knight, activated.
This could be called a special talent. I'm really good at darts. So good at darts. Okay, so he's with us now. Knights only move when you do the Chaos attack on the red phase. The blue phase, they just attack in a line like this. They do not. It's pretty convenient. These are nicely lined up here, so I'm gonna try to kill them. Oh no, this one disappeared. It's annoying.
It worked! It's the Lance. Attack the Lance Knight. Maximum charging. Maximum breakout.
Purgatory stab! I love these attack names, they're so extra. And now I don't really have much of a choice but to wait for this tree to decide to move. Somewhere I can reach it. There we go. But it's blue. That axe is gonna do literally no damage.
The warrior activated. Ready! Maximum range charging.
Yeah, it's doing like 25% damage or something.
Good. It worked!
You know, I'm gonna try, but I don't even think the second hit's gonna kill it because it's regenerating too fast.
Break out!
Oh, and it's teleporting away! And it's moved. Okay. It's a little waste of time, but whatever. It's here now. I can kill it now.
Break out! I will corrupt your soul.
There we go. All monsters are killed. We're probably just gonna kill monsters for a couple turns because I don't think anything's gonna respawn that fast. Any object. Oh, whoops. I don't want to kill both the red and the blue one. Nothing has respawned, so we'll just kill a couple monsters. So I don't want to kill the red and the blue one. The red is over there and it's not going to move, so that's fine.
Engage! Let chaos reign. The lance.
Oh, you're moving too fast.
The axe. Attack. The warrior activated.
What a weird bird. It's a bird with a big eyeball.
Maximum power. Break out. Suffer smash. It worked!
Not kill it.
The axe. The warrior activate. Red enemy attack.
Nicely lined up.
Charging.
You may notice in this place, he takes a really long time to charge, and that's related to the altitude. There's altitude in this game. You see? Over here, it says height. Each tile has a different height. But you couldn't tell, right? Like, these have two heights. The heights determine, like, give a bonus to how fast the knights charge when you make them attack. It's different. It's significant on warriors, I think. So yeah, if that warrior was on a tile that was higher altitude, he would. Sorry about that. He would charge faster.
The axe.
I need to kill
Ready?
you.
Maximum range. Charging.
This Dryad. This is not gonna do much damage.
Break out. Summer smash hit. Good. It worked. The warrior activated. Attack. I'll hack you in two. It worked. MP build up. And the warrior active. Attack. I'll hack you in two. It worked. Open fire. Go MP build up. Attack. I'll hack you in two. It worked. MP build up. MP build up.
Okay.
Let chaos in the lance. The lance knight. Maximum charging. Maximum breakout. I will corrupt your soul.
It's dead now. Okay.
See that?
So we don't want to kill the red one because that would make that would finish the tic-tac-toe grid. So we're just gonna end the turn and convert remaining time to XP. It's always usually better to get XP. You can farm MP easily. And let's try to get some monsters that won't complete. No, I messed that up. Good job, me. That one's fine. Okay, don't kill the red one. So the crate reappeared. Again, we don't want to destroy that crate too quickly, but I think if I use the Lance Knight on it, it should be fine. So I don't want to kill the red one. Otherwise, I think the setup is fine.
Engage!
I'm gonna focus on the, opening that crate first. Not gonna charge fully because I want to see how much damage. Oh, damn it. So I destroyed the crate. So now the item, see, it was a lot more. I should have checked if it had a key item in there. I didn't actually check. Because the text tells you if there's a key item or not. I don't want to restart the entire map. So I think we're gonna say goodbye to that one. If it was a key item... Yeah. Since this is the last map of the stream, I might just go back to it later. I don't know. We'll see how I feel about it.
The warrior activated. Ready? Maximum range charging. Enemy break out.
Also, I should have equipped a law axe so I could destroy that crate. How many turns do I have remaining? Yeah, because it has time to respawn. So, this is not optimal, but you know, this is the kind of mistake. If you make just the smallest mistake like this, well, you lose your optimal run, and you don't get all the items, and then you feel bad. And you shouldn't feel bad, because this game is just ridiculous this way, and you should just let that go. What level is this weapon? How did it destroy this crate so quickly? No, you're moving here. I would like you to move somewhere where I can hit you. Miss Dryad. Yeah, the Dryad is gonna attack soon. Okay, and now it should move. There we go. No, you're still here. Oh, I think I remember now. So the Dryads can only teleport on this object called Dryad Fans. Dryad Fans do not have key items. So that's why it's only teleporting between these two spaces. And the Dryad will always take the element of the fence. So that's why it's always blue here. And why I was waiting for it to be an element that would take damage better from this axe, but that's just not gonna happen. So we're just gonna end the turn. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. For the sole purpose of destroying that crate, and maybe it'll have time to respawn. I forget how many turns it took. Other than that, we're just killing monsters. Can I kill... Yeah, I can kill all of them without completing the tic-tac-toe. That should be fine.
Get ready. Engage! Enforce the law.
The axe.
The warrior. Activate. Ready? Maximum range. Charging. Break out! I will correct. Destroy. Break. Malfortunate enemy attack.
Let chaos reign.
Enforce the law.
Let the warrior activated.
Ready? Maximum range.
Now we're
Charging.
just gonna kill monsters.
Maximum. Break out!
Suffer a nice
Smash hit.
nice. It worked.
Effective enabled. Good sign.
Let's not have no charge time.
Enforce
So
the
this message is related to a system I have not explained yet. Boy, I don't know if I want to explain it right now. I could look at it. I could just go in the menu and look at it without explaining it. Let me just take care of this first.
Break out! I will corrupt your soul. How fortunate. MP build item gotten.
Let me pause. So, in this menu is called the effect tree. Let's take a look at it. And it's already giving me a migraine looking at it. God, I forget how this works exactly. There's like a counter that goes up whenever you do an action, and if the counter stops on a certain number, the like effect that's listed in here will happen. Where's the counter located on the screen? Forget. I think it's this, the hit counter. So when
Time is fading away.
like every time you hit an enemy, and some attacks do multiple hits, this number goes up. And so if it stops on very specific numbers on this tree, the effect that are listed will happen. So like say I do exactly 18, yes, that is needlessly complicated. Exactly, yes! You've described this game fully. This game is 500% needlessly complicated. So if we do like 18 hits and like the counter stops on 18, it will do this effect, which is Lance Knights have no charge time. So like I go on my Lance Knight, I charge it, it doesn't actually take any time, it can attack right away. And these effects, they change every map. I think every map has a different effect tree. Some of these effects can be good, some of them can be bad. Like charging is slowed down, that's bad. Wisp will move more slowly, that's bad. I have to imagine this one wasn't in the DS version since you used your touchscreen. I'm not sure how they would implement that, but anyway. So, yeah, all these things can happen, and 99% of the time, I don't think I even look at this tree, because it is so, like, so much to remember. Like, you're not gonna count how many hits you do. Like, that's too much. So every once in a while, you know, I play the game and then an effect happens that's like, oh, you can't move anymore. Well, I don't think they do that one, but like, oh, your knights, your warriors can't attack right now. Or your weapons take more durability. I don't know. Like, there's tons of effects. I forget, like, what all the effects are. Some of them are really shitty. And unless you actually take a look at the tree from the start and pay attention to this thing, you're not really... They're just gonna appear randomly. I also don't know if they're determined randomly when you start every map, or if every map has like a fixed list, because I never really paid attention to that much. And also, you can see like the color chart tells you what to what effect they're related. If you really need to know that, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's just kill some monsters, all right?
Let chaos reign. Open fire.
I prefer if the Dryad can move somewhere else where I can hit. Let me just check that I'm not completing a tic-tac-toe line by doing this. Yeah, no, I can kill this monster without completing a tic-tac-toe. So that's fine. I would love you to teleport somewhere else, lady.
Enemy attack!
There we go. I'm
The
done.
lance.
The Lance Knight. Maximum charging. Maximum breakout. I will corrupt your soul.
There we go. All the monsters are dead. Turn is ended. So, are there the... I can kill one of the blue ones without finishing the tic-tac-toe. And then I think every single other will finish the tic-tac-toe. Actually, no. This red I can kill without finishing the tic-tac-toe. I can't kill the white one without finishing it. Okay. We're probably... So, nothing new here. I want to reach turn 9 to see if any other item is going to respawn. So, we're going to unequip all weapons. And we're not going to do anything for 2 turns.
Engage!
For time...
Time's up.
Okay, the grass has respawned. I can just use the knife. Like, I just need to get the item out of it. I don't need to, like, destroy it. It has a key item. I probably missed a key item from the other thing, missing out. So, that's neat, you know. But if I destroy it completely, it's not gonna have time to respawn. So I'm not gonna bother doing that. I'm just gonna get the key item out of it. So we want our knight weapon. That I was using this. There we go. And I guess I'll use an axe to kill. So what did I say? I can kill the blue one and the red one. I don't want to kill the white one. The white one will finish the tic-tac-toe. So... Their Chaos Axe I can use. It's better than this. Not really. I wish you could sort this screen. You can only sort this one as far as I can tell. And this one I find it hard to read. Level 5 Cross Axe, so this one's better. But it's level 5. You don't have a level 5 character. Or do we? Oh yeah, Michel is level 5. He doesn't have a lot of vitality, but if it's just for one turn, it should be fine. Okay, so equip this axe. There we go. So we should be good for this turn. This turn, we're just destroying that bit of grass. That's right here. And we're killing the... Which one was it? We're killing the blue and the red monster.
Get ready!
Engage!
The Lance Knight. Maximum charging. Maximum
Break out!
Only 1%
I will
damage.
corrupt your souls.
It worked! Item gotten.
Some items.
Build up.
Shooting ring.
Okay. I want to kill the blue and the red.
Axe. Attack.
Oh, problem. They change colors. Okay, I can still then see them in the correct colors, so that's the yellow. I don't want to kill this one.
Enemy attack!
I want to kill these two. I'm gonna have to wait for them to move back down here. Ugh! I got hit. Now I don't want to kill the white one, which is over here, so I'm just gonna
The warrior activated. Maximum
attack
charging.
the blue. The blue is fine.
Break out. This is smash hit. Good. It's
Not dead.
Build up.
MP. Build up.
MP.
The open fire.
The warrior. Activate.
Maximum
Charging.
break out.
No.
This is smash good. Excellent. Item gotten.
Okay.
MP. Build up.
I don't want to kill, so I have to wait for this one to move. Yeah, if you're colorblind, you're fucked with this, because, like, there's no... Like, if you highlight this, it doesn't tell you which one is
Open
which.
fire.
The lance.
Attached. The last knight.
Maximum charging.
Maximum break out. I'm good. It worked. The lance knight. Maximum
Charging.
break out. I'm good. Item gotten.
Kill out.
See
Okay, so
that?
now there's not a single monster you can kill without completing the tic-tac-toe line. That's fine. We're just gonna finish the turn and see. So I don't know if the bridge respawns, but we'll see. Matter. Yeah, it doesn't. Well, I think that was like the maximum amount of turn I could have given the bridge to respawn, so I guess it just doesn't. So let's just kill the rest of the guys. Onion, do you have the zoomies? Onion? Onion? You have the zoomies? You have the zoomies, my baby? Let's go in and just kill the remaining monsters. If I could get two at the same time, that'd be sweet, because that would just be more loot.
Chaos range.
But-
The axe.
Whoa!
Maximum
Onion!
Maximum power.
Shooting ring.
Sorry, Onion just stepped on the keyboard and made all the windows disappear.
Break out.
This is the smash hit. It worked. Excellent. MP. Build up.
Special action.
The axe.
The warrior. Activate. Maximum charging.
Break out. This is the open fire. Excellent. And destroy. Good.
The axe.
Attached. The warrior activated.
Maximum charging.
No,
Maximum power.
Break out. This
Now let's
smash
kill
hit.
the slime.
Good. Item just break through. We won.
And now we won! We finished the chapter with probably one key item missing. But you know what? I'll learn to live with it. Again, you could just play this game without caring about key items, but you would probably only get like half of them every map, and so you would be missing on a number of recruitable units and weapons that you get later, and like, I think if you do that a little too much, you could get into a situation where it doesn't... I don't think it gets unwinnable, but you would need to do like some grinding, like the option to go back to a map and do some grinding, you would have to do that. By the way, don't get confused with this. Collection 97%. This is not talking about key items. This is just talking about like the little crystals and crafting items that fly out of an enemy when you kill them. That's what it's talking about. If you don't collect all of those, it doesn't give you 100%. You could get 100% of all the key items and weapons that are located in the map. They don't affect this number. That's confusing, exactly, because I was playing this game thinking maybe that's what this number means. Am I missing key items? No, as it turns out, that's not what I was missing. The game doesn't tell you if you're missing key items. You just sort of find out later on when you meet an NPC that you don't have the key item for. And you're like, well, I can't use this. I can't get this guy, so I guess I missed a key item. Oh my god, Zandra! rating. Do I have to play another chapter for... I'm sorry, Zendra, I was about to stop. Also, hello, this is Nights in the Nightmare. This is an incredibly complex game that I'm trying my best to explain, but it is so complex. Imagine every role you have, like, every, it's a lot, yeah, it's very overwhelming. Like, imagine a tactical game. When you play a tactical game, you have, like, a certain amount of, preconceptions about how a tactical game works. Like, you know, you have your units, and you make them move, and you go turn by turn. This is not the... Remove all preconceptions you have about tactical game, because this game does not give a damn about rules. It will have its own rules, and screw you if you think that makes no sense. Also, the story of this game is incredibly depressing because we are dead, we're a ghost, and every character we recruit died. We can recruit them because they are ghosts now. So, for every chapter, as always, we get a little flashback about what happened here in the past. And there's a dead body on the ground. I like how this guy is just labeled Honest Knight. He's not dead yet. But we did just recruit him, so we know that he's dead. Gonna die later. This knight isn't from the local detachment. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, I forgot to remove the red arrow. I was using that arrow to point things out on the screen, because sometimes I don't have another way to do so. Since when has that been there? God, I'm sorry. I completely forgot about that. This is the Forest of Silence, so shut up, I guess. This game is incredibly dark and depressing. Like, it's not dark in the sense... It's not grimdark in the sense that everyone's, like, super edgy and grim. But it's dark in the sense that you're going through a catastrophe, essentially. Every chapter you move on, you discover more people who have died from this catastrophe that's going on. And you don't really get a sense of what that catastrophe is until the end. And, I mean, spoiler alerts, you're not saving anyone. There is a happy ending, but it's very bittersweet. There is no good ending to this game. There's a bad ending and there's a better ending. And then probably monsters appeared before them and they all died. So, as always, between chapters, we get to do inventory management! Let's look at our weapons. We have a lot of weapons that are completely identical, and that's pointless, so we're just gonna fuse them for the sole purpose of making our inventory less cluttered. Using them just combines their durability. But really, all this does is make the screen less cluttered. No, I don't want to... after this inventory management, I'm gonna stop streaming because I'm hungry and it's dinner time. Thank you for following. We have a lot of new key items that we got from this chapter. I'm gonna take a look at those. out of curiosity, we found some crochet needle. Nadia in scene 5 has a connection to this. Again, you don't get to know who these characters are. It just tells you, you know, if you encounter a character called Nadia, you gotta give her this, and she's gonna be in scene 5, so it tells you ahead of time. Chapter 5, you'll need this. Dry grass, for someone in scene 5. The letter opener for scene 4, that's next scene. Sake bottle, scene 4. Do we get anything else? Upora statue. I don't know what an Upora is, but it belongs to Dreas. The teapot for Erika in scene 5, and I pointed it out. Do the key items automatically get used, or do you have to remember to use them? You have to remember to use them. When you start a battle, when you equip your item on the corners of your screen, you have to place the key items in there, and then move them over to the characters whom it belonged to, and then they get them. And then you recruit them, or if they're an NPC, they give you a weapon. So, the one saving grace is that when you start a chapter, the key items that belong to people on the screen will be highlighted yellow. It's not super hard to remember, but... And for the people who join me, I want to point out that in the first chapter of the game, we got the Soul Crucible, which can be very easily missed. And if you look at it, it says, Zolkonark may have a connection to this. Meet in Scene 46. That's very far away, and spoiler alert, Scene 46 is the last chapter of the game. So, if you miss this on chapter 1, you're never gonna find out what this does. But this looks incredibly ominous. Like, Zolkonark is the final boss. It's just really funny to me that you get an item you can give to the final boss on the first screen of the game, and you can miss it super easily. Like, basically, if you the first time you play the game, you're not gonna get it because you have to understand how all the mechanics interact with each other. And in your first playthrough, you would just kill monsters. You'd think, oh, I just need to kill the monsters, right? I'm gonna kill the monsters. There we go. Chapter over. Moving on. But no, if you just do that, you miss out on a ton of key items. That's fun. Alright, we can level up our guys. So, remember earlier, I talked to a character and they mentioned their friend, and said, this character is their friend. Now, I forget which one that was. I don't know if you can check that on the screen. I think you might have to go back to the title screen for that, which is incredibly silly. Let's just save and do that. Save. I'm actually gonna save on a different file. Okay. Send me back to the title screen, please. Nope. Too fast. Talk collection. Okay, so on the title screen, there's this thing called Talk collection. Every time during battle you stop to talk to a character on the map, whatever they said gets added to this. You can check it by like unit, by NPC, and by enemy. Yes, the enemies have things to say. Usually it's something like kill you, or the slime will say glurg, glorb, glue. So yeah, you could spend hours just talking to characters while doing a battle just to unlock these. It's not like necessary, like in terms of gameplay you don't have to do any of this, but what this does, for like yeah, important slime dialogue has been preserved. For units specifically, when it also gives you the context. So like join is when you give them their item, monologue is when you just talk to them alone. Oh, they also have some for when you level them up. Right, so Michelle, is it Michelle? A friend, yes. Like this one says context, a friend. It says, me and Johan joined the Knights at the same time. I really wish that menu was within the game and not on the title screen, because I wish I could just refer to that all the time. But basically, this is important. This tells me Michelle and Johan are friends. Now, why is this important? We're gonna load back into our save file. Johan and Michelle. I have to remove it. Johan and Michelle. We're gonna go into unit, and we're gonna go into transsoul. Transfer a soul to another unit. Now, in this game, to level up your characters to make them stronger, you can give them experience points. But that can excuse me. That can only go to a certain level. They are capped. In order to increase that cap and also give them huge stat boost, what you want to do is transsoul. Basically, it's like a fusion, but it's not. They don't form a new character. You basically sacrifice a character to give their like ghost force to another character. Because remember, they're all dead. They're all ghosts. So as we know, Michelle and Johan are friends. So if we take Johan, and we say we want to sacrifice... If we take Michelle and we want to sacrifice Johan, it gives us this screen. Actually, no, this is the other way. Michelle is going to get... As you can see, you select the sacrifice first, then the recipient. So in this case, Michelle gets sacrificed to Johan. And here, it gives you the stat boosts that this character is going to get. So like, a small little dinky arrow, that's a small stat boost. A thicker arrow is a bigger stat boost, and it can go up to like 3 thick arrows. And that's what you want. And the way you can tell that this stat boost is going to be higher is if those characters are friends. That's what the relationships are for. Of course, you don't really have to do any of that. You can just sort of, like, check them out one after the other, like this. Like, you can just check them out, and you'll notice that, oh, well, these, they don't get much stat boost. In fact, this one, like, the stat decreases. So obviously, I'm not going to fuse those two together. So, like, you don't really have to figure out who's friends with whom. It just makes it easier. But, so... Michelle is higher level than Johan, so I probably want to sacrifice Johan to put him in Michelle. As you can see, it gives him a pretty significant boost to Vitality, to, Law... I forget what the I is for. Law Influence. And Chaos Influence. So those are stats that are used to deal damage. So Michelle shall receive Johan's soul. And if you do that with people who are friends, they're pretty okay with it. Like, Johan's like, yeah, you get to transfer my soul energy into my friend. Yeah, I'm cool with that. That's fine. If you do that between people who don't know each other, they give a more generic dialogue, and sometimes they're sad. So you don't, I mean, if you do that, you often get bad stat ups, so it's not really useful. So the soul that accepts it grows even stronger. I won't ever forget you. And now Michelle's maximum level has been increased, so... yeah, and it gives you a little tree of all the souls that Michelle has absorbed. So, like, if he had absorbed more, it would, like, go down. And it goes down to every soul that's been absorbed, like, in order. Like, if Johan had absorbed soul before, they would also be listed in there. He's low loyalty. I don't know why that is. His loyalty is 28%. Now, I forget what loyalty means. I'm gonna have to look that up. Because I do not remember. But now he has 10 vitality, which is much better than it used to be. And vitality is basically how much you can use that character. Every time you use them, they lose a little bit of vitality. Now the expel menu is basically you can, instead of fusing a character, you can just basically tell them to leave, and they'll give you a weapon. There's basically no reason to ever do that, because the game already showers you in weapons. And it's generally better to just trans-soul characters to make others stronger. Now if I look at XP, I don't know if it tells me what his maximum level is. Is there a way to find that out? I don't think so. It doesn't. It tells me he's level 7. I don't think there's a way to tell his maximum level. It just tells you that it increased. Well, whatever. You're only gonna find out when you reach it, I think. I'm gonna give you a couple levels, because you have very low vitality, you can use more. And, I could certainly use someone who can use, like, high-level axes, so that's nice. So, that's gonna be it for me. I'm gonna try to stream this game regularly and finish it, but, I hope this is enjoyable, because it's a lot of mechanics, and I'm doing my best to explain everything I do, but there are so many systems interacting with each other that it gets really overwhelming very quick, and, like, it's a lot, and you can spend a lot of time trying to explain things. But I love this game. I think this game is great. I love interacting with these systems. I mean, really what I love is the whole bullet hell on top of a tactical game thing. I'm gonna go back. Nope, that's not the one I want. Title screen. I want to go back to the title screen, because I want to find out if there's somewhere... There should be like a tutorial that tells me what loyalty does. Teaching. Tips. Okay. For damage calculations. Damage is calculated with unit level. Okay. There's like something... Indexes? What's that? Every ally has an index for law and chaos. The higher they are, the more damage. Okay, so yeah, it also influences how quickly their loyalty rises. That's nice. I would still like to know what loyalty does. Where do I find... Oh, it's right there. I'm done. Loyalty is a number representing the unit's loyalty. Thank you, game. I would not have guessed that. It is camped at 100%. Loyalty influences many things, such as how a transfer will turn out. Okay. You're not gonna say more. So, I'm guessing, the higher the loyalty is, the better the stat bonuses you get from a Transol. But who knows what those other effects they mentioned might be. Not gonna tell you. What am I, some kind of tutorial? Some kind of manual? Did this game have a manual? It must have. It was a DS game originally, so it must have had a booklet. Well... Sure. I think I will leave you all on this. Let's go back to the talk collection. Blurb. That's it. That's it for me for tonight. I hope this is watchable. I know this game is a lot, but I do enjoy it. I'm gonna keep streaming it, explaining what I do. I do think the story is pretty interesting, even if it's like a pretty dark story. I do like it. It goes in like some interesting places. So, see you next time. Follow me on Twitter to know when I stream. It's usually at 5 p.m., but it's on days where I feel like streaming, which is not every day. Anyway, good night everyone. Thanks for watching this incredibly convoluted game. Do I know everyone who's streaming? There's no one I know. Oh, there's Killer MC. So I'm gonna send you all to Killer MC, who is playing some, it looks like it's some Mega Man X. Which is much easier to understand than Nights in the Nightmare, so it should be a nice palate cleanser for everyone who actually stuck here. Anyway, good night everyone, I'm gonna get some dinner.